5.
Start the podcast at the same time.
3, 2.
Hello, welcome to The Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob, and I'm joined by my other two co-hosts on Ladies' Night, Thursday's Night, 40k Night. Tom, hi Tom.
I like how I'm being blamed for the stream being late today. That wasn't even anything to do with me.
Well, yeah, but you set yourself up to be the fall guy, that's your thing.
Yeah, I've kind of set the precedent now. It's like footballers who dive.
Yeah.
You've got a rep.
Anytime you fall now, I feel it's a dive.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's Tom. And Nikos, hi, welcome to the room.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Hi. Spin that MD. Rob, quickly before we start, give me a good reason not to buy the Deepkin Battle Force. It's got 2 sharks in, and they're shit, but they look cool. There we go.
They do look cool. They're way bigger than I thought they were.
They are way bigger, and way shitter than I thought they were too. Started the show off as we need to go on. So if you're listening to the podcast, thanks very much. Appreciate that. If you're watching on Twitch, like Longshot Loxley, OJ, Grekil, Fulgrima, Dionysus, and Unicron John, that babe, and Bon Clodger, and Hairylicious.
Hairylicious is here.
Hairylicious, yeah. You should join us every Thursday. If you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Facebook, you can join us on Twitch, on this twitch.tv/Wargamer, where you can ask us questions and join in. And as always, thank you to everyone who has subscribed on Twitch, woohoo, and and who is a member of our Patreon. And then follow up. I just want to announce the end of the competition. October's competition was Best Screen Grab.
What did we get?
I'll be announcing that a box of models. You've won. Well, we've not won. A box of models. So Best Screen Grab from any of the shows over the course of the month with some MS style paint rubbish all over it. Gets it. I think Slanisa's won it this week.
Okay.
Not this week, this month.
We can't afford this week.
Which
No,
one?
not this week. We can't afford weekly. But Slanisa's won it by doing a hilarious picture of a giant jet chasing Nathan. So well done, Slanice.
Yeah,
and Hairylicious, thanks for subscribing. Woohoo! 3 months in a row.
Now we can afford that box of models, we're definitely sending to Slanice.
No, we've got a box of models.
Yeah.
No, it's like, it's going to be, I'll go get one in a minute.
That'll be fine, sorry.
It'll be that box of models, or that box of models.
Do I just pick one out at random?
Yeah, it's a random
it's
one.
Like you put your hand in the bucket and you just swirl it around a bit.
Oh, Liam Jordan has also subscribed for 2 months in a row.
Good
Mr.
lad.
Kapowski, hey ho. I'm ready to learn about my next 40k army, Mr. Kapowski.
Where's there paint on this map?
Huh?
What are you doing?
It's a painting table.
It's been a complicated. It's actually battle.
It's just black blood.
It's just a night. That's a night explosion.
Yeah.
It's weird. I've only been not talking, because I did a show every single day last week, and then evening shows. I'm like, oh my god, I forgot.
I forgot how to do it.
I've had 2 days off, and I don't know what to do.
You've come out of a wilderness cabin in your lovely warm hat and your massive beard.
I'm not getting cold.
Not
getting
exactly.
cold today.
There you go.
No one's messing with me
You've just
today.
been out in the woods training for a week, and now you're out.
So I'd like to know how you both are and how everyone in the Twitch chat is. And then today's show is going to be all about the Night Codex specifically. So obviously you guys will have listened to the 40k show before. You will know that we are doing Night Fight, the League of Knights. Our evolution of the Night Fight. We're doing the League of Knights. Tickets are almost sold out. There are a couple more available, I think. Rain's on the way, all that other givings. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, which is really exciting. We're looking forward to it. So today we're going to do a very in-depth analysis of the Knights, because we'll be using that information not only for commentary for the League of Knights, but also for like player packs and other stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the point of today. So if you've ever wanted to play Imperial Knights, this should be a pretty... This isn't this isn't a codex review like the day it comes out. This is a pretty comprehensive look at the Knights, all 4 draw Knights included, right? Okay. You guys okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
So before we go on, how are you both? I'm going to start with you, Nick. What you've been up to? Tell me about you since the last time we saw you.
Well, I played at the doubles at the weekend. I didn't win the tournament, unlike some people in the room. But I still had a good time pushing my skinks around, making people, defeating people by running away with skinks.
People don't really expect that, do they?
It was wonderful. And then I've just been getting ready for Blood and Glory at the weekend. So painting up I did some like objective markers, because you get like a painting point for some objective markers last night, in the player pack. So I did some of those last night. And also had a practice game against my friend Rick, who's also going with his knights. And I managed to beat them, and I won the game with my Demon Prince, going in and doing 26 damage in one round of combat to a knight. It's pretty awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
The Khorne Demon Prince.
Khorne Demon Prince, yeah.
Did you give him the wings so he could fly over the infantry?
No.
Just not in the assault phase. Right?
I'm never ever going to be bothered
need him.
because I'll never take a flying unit again in my life.
Doesn't need him.
So you're looking forward to Blood and Glory and potentially you're going to win the tournament?
I'm definitely going to win Blood and Glory.
There you go, sold. Well, I'm looking forward to that. So also bad advertisement for Knight armies. You having just kicked one's dick in with demons.
Wow, I was using blood letters, so it's a bit unfair, really.
They don't bleed. How's that work?
The guy inside bleeds.
He bleeds a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, I'm going to see how everyone is in the chat before we move on to you, Tom, so get ready.
Sure?
In the UK says, I'm feeling the orcs. You look like a Yukon gold miner, says LLV. LLV is subject to a huge apology from me because I was meant to do some stuff for him on Monday, but I had to do like 48 hours worth of work over Halloween. Some people will know or don't know that I'm a nightclub promoter. Halloween is by far one of my busiest. It's like Christmas sales, but for goths.
It's like New Year, but for
Yeah, emo kid. It's emo kid Christmas.
Edgy boys New Year.
Yeah, they're so excited. So it's been a very long 2 days for me.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I don't really want to listen to any My Chemical Romance for the next at least 16 hours.
How about at least 16 hours?
Yeah, I mean, after that, I don't mind a bit of Teenagers. That's a great song, and that's fine. Tom, how are you?
I've had a good week. I was guest hosting a podcast, which meant I forgot a double date and a goof. I have been also painting up Blood and Glory. So I've got my display board all done. Got some objective markers done. I've done all my bases. I've been building up. So I started with a display board. I painted all the bases. And then I finally got my first model finished today for the army.
Nice job.
I've already airbrushed everything, so it's just doing the details and then plugging them on the base.
So painting for points.
Well, I got really excited to put this model on the base just before I left to come here. And then I got my super glue out and I put it on the base of the model. And when I put it on, it falls off. So I pick it up, put it back on. And then I've knocked the stairs off my display board as well. So I got to pick them up and I realize they're sticky. And when I stroke my face, and I get glue all over my tongue.
Wow.
And my tongue sticks to the inside of my mouth.
Yeah. So you've glued your tongue to your mouth?
I glued my tongue to my lips. Before I left.
Perfect to do a talk show.
Yeah.
But you were able to be on time.
I know I got my toothbrush when I had a go. I separated the two.
What is when you do stick your tongue to your lip, what is the tactic?
Scream and run upstairs.
Hot water with washing up liquid.
Hot water. I didn't use a washing up liquid. I just used toothpaste.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to go downstairs and get the washing up liquid. I was just like, nah, screw it. Just rip it.
Bit of floss.
Bit of floss.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's tense.
Get those bits of models out your teeth. I'm pleased with how the model looked though when I glued it down.
Oh, good. You have
So
to put
just
some
got one.
pictures up.
Yeah, I've got like 60 models to go, but that's alright.
By the way, this is Thursday
Watch
evening.
me.
Tom will be going in 24 hours to the event.
It'll be done. And
Okay,
it'll look
good.
really good. I'm actually pleased. I'm really proud of it, actually.
Yeah?
I spent a lot of time on it.
You
It's
enjoy
not-
doing a bit of hobby?
Well, not really, but this is the thing. So
As someone's there painting their model, just like, fuck you, Tom.
I was saying
fuck
this to Liam in DMs. Like, I was watching the WhatsApp group for Blood and Glory going up, and everyone's put like Paulie and those kinds of guys posting their really beautiful models. And I'm just here with something that looks like a shit in comparison, but I'm proud of it.
Good.
I
Yeah,
tried
Good.
hard.
That's
all
all.
about.
You only have to hit you'd be proud of yourself.
Yeah, I don't need to spite the people who are actually good at it to be happy with my amateurish
No,
effort.
Good. All right.
Yeah, as long as you
Nicholas,
have fun
there's a
doing it.
question come through. Said you're looking sharp. New haircut.
I have
Fresh
had my
haircut.
haircut.
Nice.
Well spotted.
That's from LLV. Diagnosis, I've had a mixed week. Huge success at work, but big family emergency has been weird. Good thing I'm off this weekend. Oh, I hope you're well, Dick. Yeah,
What?
look after yourself.
Stick and well.
No, his family.
Ah,
He's had a family emergency. They
Oh,
probably
shit.
won some sort of award for being fantastic, because he is.
probably.
Canhammer says Rob looks like a cross between a beaver, a lumberjack, and the Taliban.
They would know.
You
Not
do.
about the Taliban.
Yeah, I do.
the beavers and the lumberjacks, they might be alright with that.
Apparently, I look like the population of the Yukon. This is all Canadians just
You
talking
can come
to each
from
other.
Regina, Saskatchewan.
Papine Tom's hair is starting to show some signs of its former exuberance. So again, Tom,
I haven't cut it since July.
interestingly, who knew that Thursday night always started off with a quick review of how the hosts look? Tom's hair's great.
It's
Nick's had a
ladies' night,
haircut, and Rob looks like he's some sort of deep backward
I don't know what you expect from
murderer.
ladies' night, dude.
It is ladies' night.
At the end of the
It is
day.
ladies'
Come on.
night. Right. Okay, let's do it. You guys ready? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do knights? Everyone in the chat ready for knights?
Ready. My body is ready.
Yeah, good. So we're going to approach this in a very specific order, aren't we? So we're doing households first.
Yep.
Yes.
Then we're doing warlord traits and artifacts.
Yes.
Then we're doing stratagems. So we're doing those
Yes.
first before we then review the knights based on chassis. Because I don't know if you guys know this. Obviously, you've got like the Crusader and the Erin and the Paladin. They're all actually the same chassis. Yeah.
So just to clarify, we've got household, and then that special rule, warlord trait, relic, stratagem, and then the next household, and then the generic ones, the generic stratagems will have the individual.
That's the plan.
Okay.
And then what we're doing is we're going to go through the bone mortars. I'm so hard right now.
Have you heard about free blades?
No.
Would you like to?
Tom, yeah, take it away.
Have
yeah,
you heard
sure,
the word?
All right.
The
So
word free
you can avoid taking a knight household altogether if you want,
Sure. Okay.
and you can take free blade knights. So instead
Three
blade
blades.
knights.
you can
I
take
don't know what you're
free
saying.
blade knights.
I'm
if
so
you want.
confused because
Yes.
you often say three like free, so now
So
I'm in a
free,
world of
F-R-E-E, so they
Free-
don't cost any
a
points.
free knight, no
Yeah.
points.
Yeah.
It's a free. It doesn't cost.
I
any
might have
points.
misread that, but that might be how it works.
What, you can have 100 knights that are 3
I
points.
mean, it's pay to win, man. we're flogging models, dude. So instead of being part of a household, you can replace your household keyword with free blade. And free blade units can be taken as part of a household attachment, but do not gain any benefits from it. So it's like taking a unit of Black Templars in in a Space Marine detachment that's otherwise full of Ultramarines.
Yes.
Or just anyway. Pretty standard. So when you have a free blade, you can either give, so they can get benefits and negatives, effectively.
Right.
So what, they're qualities and burdens?
Qualities and burdens. So when you're going for qualities, you can either pick one quality or randomly generate two.
Mm-hmm.
And with burdens, you can either pick two or randomly generate one.
Yeah, but you have to. Yeah, you have to have. Don't you have a quality and a burden always?
Yes. So you can have. So if you want qualities,
Mm-hmm.
you can just pick. If you want one quality load, like really much, you really want that one quality, you can just pick it.
And I feel like we can skip the minutiae of this in that as far as I read it, when I read it, they all suck.
Everything all suck.
Not quite.
But isn't that
isn't
having
it
the
what, the
detriment
burdens?
just
The
always?
burdens are pretty bad.
That's my point.
Yeah. So we can go for burdens first if you want, just in case people want to take that. So there's 6 different options.
It's
for
going
your
to be a
burdens.
burden to do it, but
Yeah.
I'll try.
Hey. So you can either randomly generate one or pick two. So if there's two that you're not particularly fussed about, you can just pick those and be done with it, right?
Yeah.
So there's Exiled in Chain, which means your Free Blade Knight cannot be affected by stratagems. Which I think is a double-edged sword, really.
Well, yeah, like as long as you're okay, just like I mean, no one in 40k now is like no one looks at their model and goes, "Oh, it does that for those points? That's fine." They're like, "I want it to attack 7 times, reroll to hit, and reroll to win."
Because you're building the army based off the stratagems rather than off the units.
Yes, because they are arguably a joke.
Well, yeah.
Also, Karchev23, thank you so much for subscribing.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
The second one is
Big BDE.
the second one is pretty bad, which means you probably never want to randomly generate. So you halve the number of wounds remaining for the purposes of consulting the damage chart.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's
Which is
pretty
horrendous.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
You have haunted by failure, so every time you roll a 6 to hit, you reroll it. 4, obsessed with vengeance, so you can only target the closest enemy unit in the shooting phase and can only charge the closest enemy unit in the charge phase. You have driven to slaughter, which means you can't fall back, and your BS is 6+. So you're going to walk in and punch some stuff. And then you have impetuous nature, which I need to go to the other page. Beautiful. Which is, you must always move closer to the nearest enemy model unless it is already within 1 inch of an enemy model. And you must always declare a charge against every enemy unit within 12 inches in your turn.
See, I would always be picking, I think, for these,
I think because you want to avoid the weary machine spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is really bad.
I would probably go for...
Depending
when
on what
I
you're
looked
putting
at these, I thought about having like a gallant that you basically just make him a combat gallant that you're just going to run at people and charge. So if you just had the...
driven to slaughter.
they're driven to slaughter, so you can't fall back and you're plus skill 6. That's not massive.
Well, it kind of does matter for the gallants because I ran freight DTC and a lot of the time I was reliant upon walking over infantry.
Okay, so retreating out.
Yeah, retreating out
so
over.
Thanks, LOV, for subscribing for 6 months in a row.
Whoop, whoop.
Really appreciate that. honestly, you're going to be hard pushed to argue me into a position where I want to take a free blade. It doesn't get the household bonus, doesn't get access to the household strats, artifacts, and the others, and the other things, and then is also in some way worse. Like, I feel like I have to pick the worst thing. Like, I like it in a, like, I wish that, like, the stratagem was you can fight twice, but now your armor save doesn't exist or something stupid. Like, I wish there was some sort of balance to the stratagems in some way, like this, in this, but comparing to how the rest of the codex is built, where I would like a free bonus on top of my other bonuses, it seems insane to take it.
Well, maybe the qualities can convince you.
Okay, let's see
Go
if
through
there's
that
any
very
quality
quickly,
ones.
Hey, fucking hell. What's up with you today? Alright, so the first one is last of their line, so you reroll ones to hit against units of 10 or more models. Number 2 is Swan to Quest, reroll ones to hit it against the enemy warlord. Also, your objective secured now.
That could be quite good.
Right.
Particularly maybe, I don't know, night missions.
Mysterious Garden is kind of fun because it gives you a 6-inch range heroic intervention. So you can catch someone out with that.
Yeah.
You can't use it in our event, though.
Useful in 40k, not useful at the League
in
of
our event, so we'll ignore that one. 4 is Peerless Warrior, so you roll a d6 on a 1 to 3, the model gains +2 movement, on a 4 to 5 it gains +1 weapon skill, and on a 6 it gains +1 ballistic skill.
But
ideally you want 1 to 3.
But I can already...
And that's at the start, isn't it?
Yeah, start. Yeah.
I don't think I'd risk that.
No.
No.
Number 5 is Indomitable, so you get +1 wound and +1 leadership, presumably just for a laugh. And then 6 is Legendary Hero, so you get to reroll 1 single hit, wound, damage, charge roll, or saving throw per battle round. So that's basically like a pseudo Raven.
Salamander.
Well, pseudo Raven.
Yeah.
So
Master Grafted.
yeah, so you can take
a House Raven.
Yeah, pseudo House Raven. So the House Raven stratagem. In fact, that was a nice segue. So do you want to go to House Raven? Very quickly?
We'll wait till we do it. We'll do them in order.
Yeah. So that one effectively is the House Raven stratagem is 3 command points now, I think, and it allows you to reroll 1s to hit, wound, damage, and when randomly generating a number of shots. So it's just a reroll on anything you want.
Which is quite useful.
Yeah, but it's whether or not it's worth the burdens. And especially when a lot of these burdens are geared towards close combat knights and they hamstring shooting units.
Yes.
Well, the last of their line is good on like a shooter knight. Like Avenger Gatling Cannon and all the stubbers and rocket pods. I think that's quite
good. Totally.
I gotta say, I'm not into it.
No?
I just don't see it. Like I like the concept of it, especially like narratively.
Can you have a free blade in the auxiliary detachment?
Yeah, why not?
Because you don't get the traits if you're auxiliary detachment anyway. So if you're taking that one, if you have as a free blade, you get some bonuses.
Well, the thing is with that though, you can only take 1 detachment in our event.
Yes.
So
in our event, if you go into like a 1750 point normal tournament, then maybe you could fit 4 knights in, so you get 3 in the super heavy and then 1 spare. So maybe you're going along that route. I just don't see it. Maybe someone else can convince me, but I don't get why I would go down the free blade route.
What I could see is potentially taking 2 Castellans and then a Styrics? Is that what it's called? Or the 4% more normal.
4-draw one, yeah.
So you take the 2 Castellans and make it a House Raven detachment. So now you can use a Raven stratagem on one of the Castellans, and the other one's a free blade with the free reroll per turn. So you're effectively getting quite a decent amount of shooting out of those 2 Castellans, and then the Styrics is just there to hit stuff.
But what burdens would you take on the Castellan?
You'd probably take Exiled and Shame, I think, because you don't need to use stratagems on it anyway. You're using all your stratagems on the other one. And then you're going to be taking not that one, that one's rubbish. Not that one, that one's rubbish. Maybe even Obsessed with Vengeance. No, because your ballistic skill is now 6+.
Oh yeah, but
it's just straight garbage.
Weapon skill, sorry,
yeah. I don't want to take Impetuous Nature, so what I'd probably do is I'd take Obsessed with Vengeance.
But then you're only shooting the closest.
Yeah, but you're killing it, and it's nice.
But if it's just like...
It's not like normal 40k where it's like, unit of 10 got a sniper, got to fire my entire knight. Does it say it can only target nearest units? Okay. Yeah. So the nearest unit is going to be a knight regardless, right?
Well, I mean, I think we're talking about generic 40k as well as the League of Knights.
In generic 40k, don't do it.
Yeah.
Bad. League of Knights, maybe.
Yeah, it's good for that.
Because worst case scenario, killing a walkway. That's assuming someone's taken walkway.
And I think with the knight as well, you've got long enough movement to move it into a position where the closest enemy
You would
sometimes
get a
is.
You would get a -1 to hit roll, I think, right?
Not for moving.
I don't know. I know for House Raven you don't get the -1 if you're.
What advancing?
Yeah, that's it. So you've got House Raven on one guy, so you can just wander around doing as he does. And then even remember, you can engineer the target priority. So you can fire the first Castellan, kill the thing at the front that you don't want to shoot your other knight at, and then you target your other knight into a target you actually want to kill.
Yeah.
Potentially, but
Yeah.
I just don't see why you wouldn't overstack your bonus on 3 things as opposed to 2 things. That would be my only. That would be my.
Yeah, the old grievance.
Yeah,
that's fine.
All right. So next up, Hide the Vizard. Welcome to the chat. Welcome everyone. The Bowmore says my 1500 knight list is 3 Knight Castellans with Gurliman Robot. So Mr. Gulliman himself.
Castellans in Gurliman.
Household Craft, even them reroll to hit, and in close combat, they of course their stratagem which generates 2 times hits for every natural 6s on the hit roll. Gallants, not Castellans in use.
Right, yeah. That sounds right. Yeah.
Mono Knights for the win, says Garcha. So let's talk about households.
Yeah.
Because the Free Blades did not sell it to me.
No,
I didn't even think we were going to mention it.
I quite like the Free Blades.
Okay.
I would probably run it.
I think they're right as well.
Okay, all right, fine. That's the point of the show.
Yeah.
Disagree.
Yeah. All right. So shall we go for the Imperialis ones first?
Costor Imperialis.
Yes. So do you want to go through the hassle trait and then I'll just do the relics and stuff because I've got those all here.
House Terran.
And
their tagline is Gallant Warriors. Should we do some dramatic readings?
Gallant.
Yeah, please do.
The nobles of House Terran are ever hungry for combat, driving their towering steeds hard across the field. The knights are eager as their pilots to take their fight to the foe, striding fleet and sure into the white heat of battle with ferocious determination. There you go.
Right. Beautiful.
There you go. They ride their steeds hard. So, when determining the distance that a unit with this household tradition advances, charges, roll an additional d6 and discard the lowest result.
Ooh.
For charges and for runs.
Charges and running.
And that stacks really well with the Warlord trick that we get to later.
It does.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
So we also have, for that one, we have its relic, which is called Thunder of Voltors. So it replaces the standard rapid fire battle cannon. It's 72-inch range, heavy 2d6, strength 9, 80 -2, damage d3, and you roll 3d6 for the number of shots and discard the lowest.
So that's the only difference.
It's a battle cannon with the house terran trait.
Okay.
Effectively.
Alright.
We also have a warlord trait which is called Champion of the Household.
Yeah.
And you get to reroll charges for your warlord. So this bad boy's going places. And then you've got the stratagem which is called Glory in Honor, which is 3 command points. So you use this after a Terran unit has fought in the fight phase, and it can fight a game in space. So it's a
3
separate
command points.
Yeah, it's a separate declaration. So if
so it's not at the end, is it?
No, it's not. It's just you just get an extra declaration.
Get an extra one. So it's
if you're in
Khorne
combat with
Berserker
something-
Knight.
Well, so if you're in combat with something, it's just like you fight with the knight, and then your opponent picks something, and then you pick your knight again.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's pretty good.
Alright, not bad.
So yeah,
So you'd be looking to run Gallants with this, right?
you'd be looking to run a close combat kind of build, yeah.
Okay, the Gallant or the Styrics. Styrics, by the way, is one of my standout knights.
You have the Atropos and the Lancer as well.
Atropos is really, really good. Like, don't get me wrong, like that, and yeah, Atropos Lancer. Yeah, the Forgeable Knights do bring a lot. Some of them.
Yeah, some of them are dogs.
Some of them. It just depends, whether or not because obviously a Styrics is a Questorus Knight, so you can use Questorus stratagems on it.
Yeah,
which is
100%.
that key difference compared to both the Lancer and the Atropos.
Which are not Questorus.
No.
Questorus is a middle variant for the main book, right? So it's like a Gallant, it's like a Crusader, it's like a 1.
Yeah, no. So there are 4 classes, aren't there? So there's Armigas, there's Questorus,
There's Dominus.
there's Dominus, there is
That's okay, I've got the list, it's fine. I'll get it for you.
as have I.
Let's have a race.
As Dominus, Cerastus, which is the tall fellas, and then Acastus, which is the knight per
And then we have Titan Legions for the mad bastard who wants to run a Warhammer Scout time.
Yeah, yeah, yes, but that doesn't. Yes, not in this. 100%.
You can fit it in 2K. Someone's going to do it.
Night's House says, all I hear is gunny gun goo. I haven't played 40k since 6th edition. Just loads of guns, basically. But there is a particular night, so the reason Hawkshroud's good, a particular night got given a big bonus when the Codex came out, so you can hit on the 2+.
Oh, I wonder which night this was.
Yeah. No, that's the
Gallant.
The Gallant, isn't it?
Mm.
That's why people are all excited.
I've got 3 of them.
You're going to run 3 Gallants?
No, I just have some.
Oh, okay.
Then I want to borrow a Gallant.
And are they the cheapest points-wise to run?
345 points.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you can run 3 and under that. Wow.
And
so
just over 1,000.
Oh, okay. That's a bit of a shame. I was going to say you could run 3 and a prefer on that.
1,035.
1,035. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Hawkshroud. Do we rate Hawkshroud?
We're going to go Hawkshroud next.
Hawkshroud.
No, wait. Sorry, that wasn't Hawkshroud. That was
Griffith.
We're going Griffith next.
Which we've just done Hawkshroud, right?
We've just done Terran.
Terran.
Just done Terran.
Sorry.
No,
Let's go to Griffith.
So House Terran, the close combat.
Yeah. Extra choppy, extra charging.
Yeah. And Griffith are kind of the same, aren't they? Because their trait, their tagline is Glory of the Charge.
Oh, yeah.
So they add 1 to the attacks characteristic of a model with this household tradition during any turn in which it charged, performed a heroic intervention. In addition, a model with this household tradition can perform a heroic intervention as if it were a character.
Which is a little bit worse in our kind of format because we're not allowing heroic interventions.
That's true.
But you are getting the extra attack, so it's what's more valuable, the extra distance on the charge or the extra attacks. But then you do have a Warlord trait, Relic, and Stratagem as well. So
Do Gallants have 5 attacks?
Yeah, they do.
So you get 6.
So you get 6. There's
Yeah.
There's also a Warlord. Isn't there a Warlord trait to give them a 7?
Oh, is there?
there might be. I'm going to double check. I'm just going to read out the House Griffith specific Warlord traits. So they have lots of ways to apply mortal wounds when they hit in combat as well. So they hit harder
with all 5 attacks.
Well, it's not quite how it works actually. So it's got the Warlord trait Master of the Joust. So that's very knightly. So they inflict mortal wounds on a 4+ to 1 enemy unit within 1 inch after completing a charge. So it charges something, peck a unit within an inch. On a 4+, it takes D3 mortal wounds.
I don't really like those traits because
it's very crappy, isn't it?
It's just 50/50 is too low of a chance for that to happen.
The relic is Mark of Balance. So on a 2+, inflict D3 mortal wounds to an enemy unit within 1 inches after completing the charge, and on a 6 instead inflict 3.
That's a little bit better, but I still don't think I'd
but
take
it's a relic.
Yeah, I still don't think I'd really
I think Warlord trait's a bit crap because there's a lot of other good Warlord traits that you can take.
Yeah.
But never mind. And then the stratagem is called Dragon Slayer, which is 2 command points.
Mm-hmm.
So you use it in the shooting or fight phase. This unit gets +1 to wound against units containing models with 10 or more wounds. So you get +1 to wound against knights, assuming it's not badly damaged. You inflict some mortal wounds sometimes if you have the relic and the Warlord trait. That's about it, really. And then you get an extra attack.
Paul Green was currently painting this Castellan ready for the League of Knights.
He should use a household.
Yeah. So which knights do you like taking with this household and why? You don't like this one?
Probably just the Gallant, really.
I prefer the reliable charge and the ability to get around the board and then pick what you're charging at rather than just having, I can just punch through whatever I want.
Okay.
Because you've got the 4+ mortal wounds, which isn't ideal. And you're probably going to be taking Land Strider anyway, because if you're taking the Relic and the Warlord trait, you don't really have any way to get your knights into combat more reliably.
Okay.
So what's their stratagem?
Their stratagem, it was the +1 to wound against units with 10 or more wounds.
Oh, yes.
So it is good for that, but I feel like the +1 to wound and the extra attack aren't that helpful, because most of the time if you're taking... Let's say you're taking something like a close combat, like a Gallant, right? If you're taking that, you're probably going to punch through a knight anyway. Unless it's a Styrics, in which case this doesn't actually help you that much, because the 4+ vulnerable helps bounce. If you are taking something more shooting, like, I don't know, is a Crusader bottom with a double gun?
Yes.
Yeah. Then this doesn't help you either, because you're not going to be punching through a knight even with this. So it's either overkill or nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I don't like it either.
No,
if that
not a massive fan of that one.
You're not very cheery today, are you?
I'm very cheery. You wait till we...
Terran's alright,
so the houses and the strats and the artifacts is like the bit I know the least.
Okay.
But wait till we get to the knights. Yeah. Not only have I prepared some special videos, I've got some special narrative to really flavour it up. It's just it's so difficult to do this review, right?
Yeah.
And it always is for 40k because like you go, oh, there's this unit, okay, but then there's this warlord trait, there's this spell, there's also this stratagem, which is a different thing that most of the systems don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got also the free chapter tactic / household / whatever. So actually, like, and I can imagine for the viewers at home as well, or the people listening to the podcast, it's the same process. Like, I was thinking about it today. I was like, what's the best way to do it? Is it just do a knight and then work out what's the best way to build that knight all the time? And then what's the best army list? But it's just a huge volume of information.
I'm doing it the other way around, you see. So I'm going, okay, if I were to take this type of list, so that was like Free Blade, or if I was to build a duty list, okay, but just clear stuff as it walks in, how would I do it? Okay, 2 Castellans. Bam, that's a good start. I'm going to take one with Raven, one with Free Blade. So it's like, okay, this is the list type I want to build. What's the best way I can do this? So
by Raven, you mean House Raven?
Yes, House Raven. So you look at the houses. Okay, which one adds best to me? Okay, well I could do this and this, and I've got 2 big kind of shooty knights, and then I've got points left over. Okay, now I've got a screen. Bang. Or okay, I want to build a fast close combat list. Okay, how am I going to do that? So House Terran, Landstrider. Now I'm advancing extra distance. I'm charging extra distance, and I've got reliable extra hits just in case to bail me out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not.
It's just different ways of building.
That's the thing when we go through. There's this house next. You're like, this house is just shit. Sometimes, but that's the issue as well. Because and we've talked about this before. I don't like cherry picking.
No, of course.
Like, I'm like, let's talk about that one. That sucks. Like the Free Blades. You're like, maybe Rob, maybe, and I'm like, but probably not. I was giving the counterpoint.
That's absolutely fine.
You guys are giving the full info.
Yeah.
So let's go. Let's continue.
Because I'm just building from, okay, can I build a list that fulfills this win condition?
Exactly.
And does it do it well enough?
Potentially. I just
probably not.
I just want you to know that I know that lances have been used in mounted warfare by the Assyrians as early as 700 BC.
And they were used
that's some of the research I've done. When we start talking about the Knight Lancer.
And they were used as late as the 1930s by the Polish.
Oh.
Here you go.
I don't know. Sometimes, yeah. Okay. Well,
charging tanks with cavalry. All right, that's House Griffith.
House Hawkshroud?
So House Griffith we don't like and we think...
I'm not a fan, but by all means bring it, because you'll be a hipster.
Yeah. All right. Well, what we'll do is we'll produce a document afterwards where we'll rate the houses top to bottom.
Shite.
Yeah. Shooty, combat-y, sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Shooty, combat-y, neither.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll do one of the 3 circles, the Venn diagram.
Yeah.
What's the best?
And then you have some, but just outside the entire section. Yeah. House Griffith's on the edge.
So what's the next household?
House Hawkshroud.
Oh my.
Keepers of the Oath. So they models with this household edition double the number of wounds they have remaining for the purposes of determining what characteristic to use on the damage table.
That's fresh and creative. I've never seen that one before.
No.
So what?
So they double the number of wounds when consulting the damage table. So
that's quite good. That's great for knights.
You have to really kill them.
Yeah, that is great for knights.
It's effective.
So good
for a knight
it
fight.
Is good,
Yeah. It's especially if you're playing normal 40k, I think that's decent. And if you're playing obviously night fights, you want them to be performing as well as possible, right?
Yeah. We can have a third little section of the Venn diagram for durability.
Yeah. So how far do you have to get them down? Get them down to PS4.
So normally it's normally 12, so you have to get it down to 6.
6. So yeah, so you devolve it, yeah.
It would not be like 3, 4. But the gap between 6 and 3 then is like pretty. So 3 wounds can make a big difference.
Tom Dudardé has donated over 100 bits. Over 100 bits.
Over 100
No, just 100 bits. For your hair. So,
okay.
Big shout out.
I was going to say, Nicholas should get his boobs out for the Tesseract bolts.
Oh, wow. No, not allowed to.
Yeah, boys.
Sorry. That's how that works.
Set up a GoFundMe.
No, this isn't Knights of the whatever. Of the gaming table.
Knights of the Give Me Money table.
Oh, yeah.
They're nice people, probably.
I don't care.
Yeah, they're shit at Warhammer, though. That's everything I've seen.
I have seen no evidence to believe they're nice people, though.
Oh. I like to start with they're nice people.
Oh yeah, I do start with that, but after a year of encountering their bullshit on the internet, I've lost my patience. Anyway, so then we have House Cadmus, right? Oh no, we've still got the House Hawkshroud stuff, don't we? I completely lost track with you triggered me.
Dude, also don't know 100 bits to your Necron Vault fund.
Yes.
We're almost there.
So the Warlord trait is Duty of the Forsworn. So at the start of the first battle round, before the first turn begins, picking an enemy unit and your Warlord gets +1 to hit against it. Oh. Doesn't really do very much. And then we've got...
if you're fighting against other knights, it's quite good.
Yeah.
But I suppose it has to do the wall.
Yeah, but lob that one in and say, there you go, enjoy.
Yeah.
But then you've got a relic which is called Angel's Grace. So you've got a 4+ damage prevention roll against mortal wounds suffered in your opponent's psychic phase.
I think that's pretty good.
That is really good.
Not against other knights.
No, against other knights, no, but it's really useful to have a save.
But there is a stratagem that allows you to give you a 5+ DPR.
Yeah, I really like that.
Whereas if you've got fixed relics and you have to submit it before the event, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, when I've got my 6 Harlequin bikers and then I target a goddamn knight and then I do all my mortal wounds, it's like now I've got a 5
this is
up
the
against
thing.
mortal wounds.
So this one only works in the psychic phase. The other one works in any phase you choose. So I could use the other one against Talos, Haywire.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas this one only works in the psychic phase, so it's against
I
smites.
didn't see the psychic phase bit.
Yeah, it's a bit
Don't like it anymore.
No, that's correct.
Get it out.
Get it out.
And then the stratagem is called Staunch Allies. So use this after your opponent declares a charge against an Imperium unit and choose a House Hawkshroud unit within 12 inches of the target of the charge. It can Overwatch. And it can also heroically intervene 2d6 inches, but cannot end within 1 inch of any enemy unit of the one that declared the charge.
I have been on the receiving end of this, and it sucks.
It does suck.
Like, it's great if
As
you're
in
the guy doing the
Yeah,
stratagem.
I was going to say.
Otherwise, it's
It's
for
Tau
the
support
greater
fire.
good. Support
with
fire.
knights.
It's not quite as good because the support fire for Tau can often work on a 5+ because you're running the Tau Sept, whereas this you're just hitting on 6s.
Yeah. But
So-
I get it here. If you got, just the more guns you got on that supporting fire, the better.
Yeah.
Castellan's perfect for that.
Yeah, exactly. Or, well, even a melee knight for the heroic intervention. So that might work quite well. So it's not
Or the Valiant with its flamer.
there you go, the harpoon.
That'd be amazing.
I tell you what, I am warming to the Valiant the more I look at it.
I really want to do that. Run that one.
I really want to run a Valiant. Like, I know it's not as good as Castellan, but the Castellan's definitely going to go up in points.
Whereas a Valiant just could be like...
And if it doesn't go up in points in Chapter Approved, all of us are giggling like this.
Well, Talos should also go up, but the Talos are kind of worked their way out now. So in the Blood and
Yeah,
Glory...
but wait, no, they're older. They're
well,
not going to go up any points, are they?
No, of course, but it doesn't matter, because Eldar have so many good things we just cycle around.
Eldar are just happy for you. FAQs, Chapter Approved,
saying
there are other problems. Don't look at us, stop looking.
80 people are going to Blood and Glory.
Yeah.
Do you know how many Talos are being taken? 12.
Is that it?
2 people are taking Talos and they're taking 6 each.
Wow. Okay, well that means that's a mistake by everyone else not taking them.
I agree.
Are you taking them?
No.
Oh.
I'm taking just Yunari, dude. I don't need no Talos.
For God's sakes.
Yeah. I was hoping I wouldn't turn up, but
The wizard is also making a really good point that he's never seen any knights at the gaming table's table.
no.
Really?
There's never been any knights there. And he also says there's a severe lack of chivalry. I just read that.
He
I've
has
read
seen-
that.
he has seen-
I haven't said that.
He has seen much cleavage.
Probably true though.
Come on, let's get on with it. Let's talk Warhammer, not idiots on the internet.
Trying to scam people. That's my personal opinion.
It's not scamming people. If people are entertained, then that's fine, man.
No,
Well,
yeah,
more
of course.
like taking advantage then.
What of? Like,
People's desperation to be good at 40k.
that's not
No,
it. They're not taking advantage of that, are they?
They're charging $90 a month.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
We're free.
Did you see the tweet?
We're crowdfunding.
Did you see the tweet I retweeted from last year where I complained about
It's
them?
are those the same guy?
Yes!
$90.
$90!
Well, who's paying that?
I know 2 people who pay it.
Oh, I'm so sorry if you're watching. Or listening.
They're mates of mine, they're fine. They're good.
Are they good at Warhammer?
I haven't played one of them. The other one I've played twice. I played him once earlier in the year, once at Glasshammer. And
Did he improve? Has he improved?
He was still fine, but no, not really.
Oh, well, it's not obviously working. Then.
Wow.
Or maybe it's one of those subs that you start and then forgot about.
I think for $90 a month, I might give, might do personal tutelage. Where we come over and we just give everyone a box of Dark Reapers.
I need
Yeah.
someone to I need someone to ask for that.
Build these.
It's fine.
Here's some
Like,
Talos.
here's the thing,
Build
like,
these next.
Nick works for it. Nick's a good player, but there's only so much you can do when you've got like 170 people paying that fee. You can't turn all of them into major contenders because to do that you need proper one-on-one time with them over a consistent period of time. You can't just say, so 170 people, okay, here's a list, here's how you run it, off you go. And that's what you can do. And that's helpful to some degree, but it's not going to...
I don't know if it is though.
If you don't know how to build a list and you don't know how to play the game, basically, then yeah.
Yeah, but my experience so Nick knows this in detail, so I'm going to be very cautious how I say this.
No, of course.
But my experience of the weekend just gone at Warhammer World was 4 incredibly inexperienced gamers. Well, 8, because it was 2 sets of 4, 4 sets of 2 teams. They were all lovely.
Yeah, of course.
Caveat. Yeah?
Yeah.
Fantastic. But I didn't win those games. They just lost those games.
Yeah, of course.
But we've had this discussion before, haven't we? This is really going off topic. So anyone who's really up for Knights, we massively apologise. But we've had this discussion before. And actually, so the Honest Wargamer, when the workbook comes out, and if you guys disagree, we'll have that talk outside. But I think what we're going to go for is you can classify yourself as a gamer by beginner, intermediate, or advanced. And beginners play games, and they make mistakes. That's it. You're a beginner. You win or lose because of mistakes you make, right? An intermediate makes no mistakes and wins games. Yeah. Right? That's most current gamers. Very few people are in the top category, so advanced or pros, where you win by forcing your opponent to make mistakes.
This is the thing.
That's a massive difference. It's really hard to learn that. It is. Just not making mistakes. And I don't mean knowing that it's ballistic skill 3, like putting units in the wrong place.
It's about forcing. So if you're in a matchup that's generally bad, so if you play clean, your opponent plays clean, your opponent wins. You need to be creative to find out how you're going to win that matchup. It's not like.
But that's the way to tier it. Let's move on.
Okay, I just wanted to say something about Nick because I still think he's a really, really good player. I just think he's in. I think he's in an impossible position if people are expected to become major tournament contenders.
It's a tough position to be in.
It is.
Yeah.
You see.
Okay. We can go back to
also, Gozzy says, asking us about our first game at the doubles.
They did. So they were on a YouTube channel. They did a review of our game. But it was very brief because that was the only game they lost, and they were very salty about.
What YouTube channel did they run?
Wargamer Online.
Oh, I've seen those guys.
So
why were they salty about it?
Just because they got beaten by skinks running away. They couldn't handle it.
Had they never seen tactics before?
No.
Are they in the beginner category?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. That's quite funny.
It was entertaining.
Halud, thanks for subscribing. Also, hi Chris. He says, I'm a seal. I'm going to get clubbed. Because that's the rank. I think we should do the beginner, intermediate, and advanced as potentially animals. Seal category would be beginner. Intermediate, possibly possum.
Oh no, you could go for something that's kind of like a predator.
I was thinking some sort of.
But a predator that catches you out. So it has to be like
leopard.
Crocodile. Because they kind of wait, and then when an animal strays too close to the river's edge, bam, they got you.
Oh, okay. All right, crocodile done. And then the final tier, humanity,
Yeah.
the exhaustion predators that we are.
The top of his food chain. There you go.
God said they also couldn't even write a valid army list. Lol. Should we just not talk about the Knights? Should we just go on a YouTuber's?
We could talk about Knights rather than the Knights.
No, let's not do that. Let's not do that. On Orca says Ty winning, then Shark. Ooh, Mantis. Mantis would be good. Do you know what? I think we're going to run a competition.
It's very close to Mantic.
Huh?
Never mind.
Yeah, they're good, nice fellas.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
By the way, if anyone wants to continue the screen cap competition that we'll be running for November that we're in, you'll win a box of models. Make a screen cap, draw a funny picture over it. Sanice won one October. Well done, Sanice.
It has to be MS Paint.
It has to be, some sort of drawing out. You get good ones on your phone now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just fat fingering on it.
We are miles away from where we were. So what house next?
House Cadmus.
House Cadmus, Hunters of the Foe.
Cadmus.
House Cadmus reroll wound rolls of 1 in the fight phase for attacks made by models with this household tradition against units which only contain models with a wounds characteristic of 12 or less.
Garbage. Carry on.
So...
Do you want to explain why, Tom?
Because you're not going to be fighting against things with wounds characteristics of 12 or less unless you're punching Armigers, and if you're punching Armigers, you're probably killing them anyway.
Well, that's at the League of Knights.
Yes.
You mean?
Of course, but I'm very hyped for League of Knights, you see.
Yes, you are.
Yes,
yes you are.
As everyone should be.
Whereas against other, things, Custodes bikes...
Was it better to fight... Is it better to... Well...
Is it better to fight in the dark?
Is it better to fight...
have no eyes?
Is it better to fight twice, or is it better to reroll once to win? I think there's a straight answer to this.
Yeah.
Fight twice.
Fight twice.
Fight twice is better.
Fight twice?
But also, is it better to fight with no hands than it is to fight with no feet?
Although this section does have one.
Why can't you fight with both at the same time?
Great question, Nick.
There is...
And your head.
Did you? Yes.
Just roll up in a ball.
There is something I like in here. So I'm going to go with a relic first.
Oh, Chapter Master Maro's gone, House Terran, which is the mine, has the worst one. I really respect it when people go, I play in that house. Like people who are listed, like, yeah, that's my house. What do you guys think of it?
Shit.
Oh shit. Okay, great. Great. Really happy I put those transfers on. So excited.
I'm going to go for the Warlord trait last, actually, because I really like it.
What, for which house?
Cadmus.
House Cadmus.
House Cadmus!
So the relic is ignore cover, which
Okay.
doesn't fit very well in the fight phase detachment.
But would be useful with the new 2CP stratagem from Games Workshop to help the
For model sliders.
It would be.
And then we've got the stratagem is called Bioscryer Cogitator. Hooray.
Classic.
Cogitator.
Cogitation.
And it's 3 CP, and you can intercept within 12 inch range. So basically, once it rises in the order within 12 inches, you can shoot at it.
That's a stratagem?
Yeah, it's stratagem. It's
Yeah, that's okay.
3 CP as well.
That's
But here's my favourite bit. The Warlord trait. The Warlord trait is called Veteran of Grissone 4. So this is -1 to damage suffered by your Warlord in the fight phase to a minimum of 1. So it's like a crap serpent shield.
I don't think that's that great, because...
No, but it sounds like a serpent shield, so I like it.
Oh, okay, that's the only reason. It's the most Eldar thing you've come across.
It works, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It works like a wave serpent, but in the fight phase rather than the shooting phase.
Yeah, I suppose it's
It would be
probably
OP if
better
it was
against
shooting
things that are like damage, obviously damage 2, but like knights that might come and punch you in the face, damage 6 to 5 isn't
I
a
actually
huge
feel
difference, is
I
it?
actually feel like if you're going to build this, you build it kind of shooty, right? And you don't even
But then
use this.
but what's the point in having the House Cadmus if you're not making use of the real ones? in the
But if
fight
you're not
phase?
if you're making use of real ones in the fight phase, you're not making use of the ignored cover, and you're not making use of the stratagem to intercept. So maybe you just take
So
Crusaders.
all round, it sounds like a
maybe you take
terrible
wardens.
household.
Maybe you just take wardens and crusaders, so it uses everything.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
Problem solved. Kick it in the head.
yeah. I don't like
Baz
it.
Eyes,
Don't like
thanks
it.
for subscribing. Either
Whoop, whoop.
on YouTube or wherever the hell you're else watching. You
Lad.
babe.
All right then.
Next house.
Is
Yes,
this
next
the
house.
last one of
This is the
Imperialis?
last Questoris.
Imperialis.
Questoris Imperialis.
Yes.
House Morton. Close quarters killers.
Oh my.
Add 1 to hit rolls in the fight phase for attacks made by a model with this household tradition during any turn in which it A. Charged, B. Was charged, or C. Performed a heroic intervention.
So good for whopping things with Reaper Chainswords.
It is very good.
Mm.
Probably even good for your Gallant when he's like taking a few wounds as well.
Yep.
Um,
So you're still hitting on 2s? Or if you want, you just
Yeah.
walk up with your chainsword and go huzzah.
or if someone's got a -1 to hit, maybe like a sneaky Eldar
Just
strategy.
anything with Eldar.
Any one of the Eldar units could be an extra -1.
Solitaire.
Yeah, Solitaire with his cloak of hidden knives
Yeah.
flying around.
Yeah.
Oh,
Still
is it-
alright for Knights.
Huh?
Still alright for Knights versus Knights.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
value with Chainsword. But,
Even the guys without a chainsword running in just double feet tackling somebody.
What about Hecaton Siege Core?
Yeah, the clamps could be pretty good.
The clamps,
Oh yeah, because they're -1, aren't they? So that will negate the -1.
which is useful.
Yeah, that's super good. Does the normal fist that isn't the Reaper Chainsaw do the -1?
No, it used to, but it doesn't now.
Doesn't anymore.
The Reaper Chain Fist.
Ah.
there is one that has a -1 to hit though. It's really good for whopping Knights.
So is the Siege Claw different to the fist?
I'm gonna grab the...
They used to be the same, but obviously with the Forge World didn't update their War Scrolls.
Ah.
Hook and Pin,
Damn it.
thanks for donating 510 bits.
Whoop, whoop.
wow.
Thank you very much, Hook Pin. I'm gonna grab the...
She's hooked us. You could say she's. Oh, okay.
Yes.
No.
No,
Can you stop abusing the chat? please, as well?
I can't promise anything.
So it's,
Yeah, they've been mocking my hat for hours.
so it's the Thunderstrike Gauntlet, so that has a -1 to hit. So that is _2 strength, -4 damage 6. So
It is a -1 to hit.
with the Thunderstrike Gauntlet, yes.
Ah. that's
And
what
then
it
if
is.
a vehicle monster is slain by the weapon, you pick up an enemy unit and you lob it at someone.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, exactly what
That's
you want.
cool.
It is pretty good. I dropped it on Archons before and killed them by just dropping vehicle on their heads over the top of the wall. Literally just dunk straight across.
Reaper Chain Fist clearly got to be the most fun
Yeah, because you get to do death grip with it.
weapon. We'll get to that when we get to the weapons.
Fist people.
What's the next house?
I hope you're not promising something that we don't have. I'm still going through the Warlord traits and the relics, mate. So we've still got Warlord trait for that one. The House Morton.
Can we do stratagems after the knights? Because I'm very excited.
You really want to do the knights?
I just want to do the fucking knights, man.
Okay.
I just want to say, like,
I'll
what a sweet gun he's
if
got.
there's something really good, I'll tell you and I'll talk about it. No, carry on.
What, there are no good warlord traits?
Proceed.
Well, there's nothing special in the Warlord trait relic or stratagem for House Morton.
Okay, so House Morton.
Yeah.
House Morton is the one that allows you, is the stratagem that lets you reroll shots against flyers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, ignore or modifies positive and negative.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the stratagem is, ignore modifiers against...
Using the shooting phase, just anything. Just ignore positive and negative modifiers.
Yeah, which I think is massive. Like...
1 TP.
One command point, and then it's also 2 command points to reroll shots against flying units, right? Which is a standard strat.
For Armigers, yeah.
Which is for a standard strat. So you basically can, like, a Dark Eldar guy can be like...
On Canhammer, they said it was a +1, not a reroll. And I always thought it was a reroll, but I meant to check, but I never did.
I like those stratagems that are like...
Yeah, it is reroll.
Really good against Eldar, because you get that Eldar player who's like...
Yeah, this is -3 to hit. I'm like, well, guess what? I ignore the modifiers, and just in case, I'm going to re-roll them as well. Fuck you.
It's okay. Eldar players can't complain about that.
No, they can't. Like that actually.
You become a Dark Reaper.
That was amazing against Chris when I played Chris at the Heats. Because
who was Chris against?
So he's a Harlequin player.
All right.
And now a Space Wolf player with 1 million blood claws.
He does not like the modifier.
But that was fantastic. And also I played twice at the Heat. I came up against Eldar, something that was naturally -1 to hit anyway. So that was great.
Yeah.
And then, because there's so much -1 to hit in the game, and then being able to reroll it against flying units was just brilliant. Especially if you wombo comboed it. So if you did that with a Helverin, and then if you would take either an Acheron or the Valiant, and now you've got an auto hitting flamer, and then there's just a bunch of like planes that are like, I'm planes, no one ever shoots me, and then they come up against you like, oh, my planes are dead. Was not expecting that.
There's a Sid Sidhu at Blood and Glory is running a list of 8 planes and 4 characters, and that's the entire army.
Oh wow!
What if you just kill the characters?
Yeah.
He dies.
Oh dear.
Have you explained that?
Is it Eldar?
He knows, but yeah. So it's like the planes are paper, and the characters have short range powers.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
If you can get behind him, he's fine.
Yeah.
Story of most gentlemen. All right. So what's next?
I don't know.
House Raven. House Raven.
So we're in the Mechanicus.
We're in the Mechanicus section. House Raven. Okay. I'm sure everyone knows what House
Raven is. So I like that
was.
House Morton stratagem, by the way. Yeah. I actually think that's really solid.
But and I've seen Mikey from Hellstorm run it at an ITC event where he just had 1 super heavy auxiliary detachment with 1 Armiger House Morton, and it was specifically just for that stratagem. So obviously you don't get you don't get the trait, but it doesn't really matter for just 1 Armiger. But then you've got access to the stratagems to kill flyers. So that's how he was running it. So that'd be quite worthwhile, I think.
I think it's quite useful. Yeah. Especially when they obviously released that Flying Knight, surely coming soon from Games Workshop.
Yeah. The one that's just got like a fist and a Reaper, and he's just flapping really hard.
Yeah, he looks kind of like a truck that transforms into some sort of knight. And there's another one that's a plane.
Is that hypothetically coming?
Yeah, and there's another one that's a plane that transforms into another knight. And he makes the stars scream.
Oh. Okay.
You up on your Transformers launch?
I am, I just don't like Transformers. Because
Okay.
the only member I have Transformers is the Michael Bay films.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad.
What? They were awful.
Excuse me? Shia LaBeouf was fantastic in all 3 movies.
And that was the only thing he did that was good.
Oh, wow.
Apart from Holes.
Huh?
Apart from Holes.
Shia LaBeouf's a fantastic actor, and I won't hear any more said against him.
Okay,
did you see it where he watched at the cinema? He watched all of his own movies.
Of course he did. Do you see? I was in Oxford when he was there, just going up and down the lift for a day.
He's a genius.
He's mental.
Or an idiot. And I'm too dumb to know.
You know his flag's gone back up again.
Right, next up. Mechanicus ones, Nikos?
Yes,
We're never gonna finish
House
this.
Raven, Relentless Advance. So basically, you can advance without penalty.
Woohoo!
Essentially.
So if you advance, you don't get a
very
penalty
long
for moving and firing heavy weapons or assault weapons.
Yeah.
And the heavy weapons become assault weapons, which are then ignored.
Yeah, so you can run around shooting all your guns at no penalty.
Whoop, whoop.
So you're super quick.
But wouldn't you just stand there like a giant fucking turd that you are. And just fire all your
Generally,
guns.
you do.
Have you seen that scene in The Matrix where they're kind of just running around all the pillars, just doing unnecessary flips and shooting all the guns with perfect accuracy?
Are you talking about Matrix 1?
Yeah, the good one. That's the.
They're all good. So triggered today, Tom. They're all great.
I know. There you go. That's House Raven.
Oh, okay.
Backflipping across the.
Like Harlequins used to be. R.I.P.
Yeah. So they've got flip belts.
But Harlequins don't. Dainty Harlequins. All right.
And then they've got the Stratagem.
The Stratagem, the 40k Stratagem.
Cognitus Heavy Stubbers, lol JK. So it's Order of Companions, which is 3 command points. Use it for strategy shooting phase. 1 Raven model, rerolls once to hit, to wound, damage, and number of shot rolls.
That sounds good.
So when I say that, I kind of phrase it a bit badly. If you roll like 2d6 for the number of shots, you roll a 4 and a 1, you can reroll the 1. You reroll 1 to hit, reroll 1 to wound, and reroll 1 to damage.
So you want to be using this on a Armiger Warglaive, right?
Correct. Or a Gallant. In the shooting phase.
Yeah.
With its heavy stubber.
That's sarcasm.
Yes. Don't do that.
That's sarcasm. Do you want to? I don't know if
Where's
that's
the
going to come
sarcasm?
across on the podcast for everyone.
Where's the Kappa?
So you want to be using it on
Raven. Castellan.
Castellan. Yeah.
House Raven, Castellan.
And if you don't have a Castellan, use Valiant.
Yeah,
And if you don't bother.
and do you want to explain why?
Because you get loads of shots and you kill things very good.
Yeah, it's got a lot of multi-damage
It's
things,
good
isn't
efficiency,
it? And multi-number of shots.
Yeah, you got the biggest access to. You're rolling the most amount of dice, so you're re-rolling the most amount of dice.
So it has a Plasma Decimator, which a lot of people upgrade to Call's Wrath, I think.
Yeah.
So that's a relic, which is basically a better Plasma Decimator.
Yeah.
Plus
So
one strength.
it starts off with a +1 strength, +1 damage.
So my question is it good on my Preferon? And I think yes.
Oh,
Possibly.
It doesn't have as many shots as a
Let me
Castellan.
just find out what that is.
Flat 6 damage, isn't it? That one. It'd be good for the hits and the wounds, obviously.
Yes, because it's two
Basically twos and threes.
magma las cannons, or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
And
They're called Twin Magma Las Cannon.
yeah, huh?
And they are strength 12, AP -3, damage 6. Heavy 2d3, which is really good because you get to reroll 1s and 2s on either of the d3.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty good. So you're averaging about 5 hits.
And also, you can reroll ones. It's also got ballistic skill 2, so rerolling ones to hits actually really solid.
That's like Custodes with a shield captain.
Yeah,
You can't use those in Overwatch though. It doesn't matter, they're all dead anyway.
yeah, it's quite sad.
Yeah.
But anyway, so House Raven we're a big fan of. Is it got a relic?
Oh yeah, of course.
That's Cole's Wrath.
It might be Cole's Wrath. It is Cole's Wrath. So it's Plasma Decimator with the extra strength.
The Plasma Decimator, the gun that you find on a Knight Castellan.
Yes.
Yes.
The Dominus.
You can overcharge that to be doing damage 3. Flat damage 3. Flat 3 damage.
Wow.
Yes,
Is that without
sexy.
overcharging?
That is
When you
overcharging.
That's with overcharging. Without, it's 2.
And if you don't have the Cole's Wrath and you don't overcharge, it's 1 and 2.
Yeah. Should we move on to the best house?
I don't know if this is the best
Slytherin.
house, actually. I'm not convinced it's the best house anymore.
Slytherin.
I'm not going to acknowledge that Harry Potter reference.
Wow. Why not?
Because I don't like Harry Potter.
You don't like Harry Potter?
No.
Well, you're not a wizard.
I don't like Harry Potter.
Why don't you like Harry Potter then?
I'm not
Nick?
playing
Think
Left
it's a
Playing on stream.
load of old shite.
That's
That's
a
what it
load
is.
of old shite, huh?
A load of old shite.
Oh, I've not read that. Some fellas down the pub were talking about it. I left.
Did you just fist
I did.
bump
I've tried to, and you just left me hanging.
me? Sorry, I didn't realise you were getting Facebook.
Harry
By the
Potter
way,
sucks.
Datcom is pointing out, thank you, that isn't the Raven relic. That's a generic Mechanicus relic.
Did I just scroll up?
Oh,
the Raven
Cole.
Relic is a banner in violet, which you never see because you take Cole's Wrath.
we just assumed it was because
Because everyone has it.
Hey, Fluxy, great work on painting up that corn dragon. You've done that faster. And I did say to you that I didn't think you'd finish it, and you did finish it. So
That's
you
why I
made me
spoke
look
so
like a
hard.
twat. You made me look like a Harry Potter fan.
That's all the motivation he needed.
It's all he needed was make me look like a bit of a dick.
You sound like you're from the.
I'll not be able
fucking
to
show.
go and look them cars in the face in the morning. By the way, if you guys don't know what we're doing, over here in the UK, there's a special needs learning centre in the fields called Yorkshire.
Yeah,
Where Tom's from.
it is true.
They all speak a bit like this. No, they don't.
You should go to Barnsley.
Barnsley. Right. So sorry. So what's the next Mechanicus house?
House Taranis. So they basically, each time you take a wound, you roll a 6 and it's ignored.
Unless
but
it's a mortal wound.
Yeah, but not for mortal wounds. So just your normal damage. So you take 3 damage from a las cannon. You roll
3 damage.
You roll 3 dice, it's 6, you ignore it. So it's a 6 plus DPR save, damage prevention roll.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Sorry I said save there, that's confusing, I apologise.
It is confusing. That's
Damage
why we've
prevention
reinvented the
roll.
language.
And then the relic you don't use unless you want a thermal cannon, which is kind of cool. It's a better thermal cannon. It's called the Fury of Mars.
And it always does 2d6 with the highest damage, right? That one?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Which
alright.
is alright.
Did you pick that?
Which is
No,
okay.
no.
It's okay in League of Knights.
Yeah, it's good in night fights.
It's good in night fights.
Yeah. And
Particularly
then,
if you get caning knights all day long. Although, statistically, Imperial Knights, the most used faction in the entire of competitive 40k, which you can find on 40kstats.com. And therefore, more than likely, you're going to be running into Imperial Knights all day long anyway, because of their population in the meta. So while it's good for the League of Knights, night versus night action, statistically, you're more likely to run into Imperial Knight when it comes to competitive 40k than you are any other faction or race. So, useful in that too.
yeah, there you go. The Waller trait you're probably not going to see very much. It's just a rolls a 6 of a 6 plus in your shooting phase, improve AP by 1. Pretty crap. And then you have the stratagem, which is called Order of Companions. So on a 3 CP, and on a 4 plus, you get back up again with D3 wounds at the end of phase.
That's amazing.
It's pretty unreliable though. And it's
What?
a lot of command points.
I don't think it's
only a
that
4 plus.
unreliable.
It's 3 CP for 50 chance.
Well, it's 3 CP, but you're pretty much always going to want to save that 1 CP. So it's effectively a 4 CP thing, but that makes it 75% chance happening.
25% chance of it failing off, or 4 CP just wasted.
For me, because I ran this house at the last heat, I got a little bit lucky. I didn't fail it once, but I always felt it was worth it because your opponent put so much hard work into killing that knight, and it's good for you because you get a knight back and you can use another CP to make it shoot on its top ballistic skill. It's physically damaging for your opponent's army, and it's psychologically damaging for them because they're like, fuck, I spent the whole turn killing that knight, now it's back to screw me over.
And then you can use Machine Spirit Resurgent again to make it 5
so it's
points.
5 command points combo.
Which you're probably going to need. I'm going to need to live through Overwatch and what have you. The thing with it is it is nice and it is rewarding if it gets back up and it can swing a game, but equally if you spend 4 command points trying to get a knight back up and it doesn't.
Yeah,
I
think it's obviously it's probably situation dependent, but I personally think it's very good.
It is very good because you have the option. It's a very powerful option to have, but it doesn't make it not unreliable. So it doesn't mean it's something reliable.
I don't think I'd never risk it unless I was desperate on the 50-50.
Unless you absolutely need that knight to win the game, you have to.
Yeah.
You just leave it.
The only time I did risk it in the heat on my last game because basically I had one of my knights died and it exploded, and I wanted to resurrect it, but I had to use the reroll to stop it exploding.
Yeah.
Because you can't use this stratagem if your knight explodes.
What I was actually doing was I was charging the knights in a lot and then using the stratagem that makes them more likely to explode.
Yeah.
Because I found the explosion would probably be much more valuable and much cheaper than the other one. So the explosion stratagem, I can't remember what it's called, there's 2 command points and your knight explodes on a 4+. So you can do that and you inflict D6 mortal wounds to every unit within 12 inches. And that's better than getting your knight up with potentially 2 wounds for 5 CP and then charging something and hitting it once before you die.
Yeah, because the damage versus it depends though, because it is situational.
It depends if you need to force someone to deal with it, and if you need to force someone to deal with it, you just don't charge.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the next house?
Yes.
House Crossed.
House Crossed.
Crossed.
You can reroll failed hit rolls in the fight phase for a model with this household edition during any turn in which it was charged, or performed a heroic intervention. In addition, you can reroll all failed hit rolls in the fight phase for a model with this household tradition against Titanic units. So this is
pretty good.
Pretty awesome for night-on-night combat.
Rerolling
your hits. Rerolling hits, and you're rerolling all your failed hits.
Well, apart from when you're using the Thunderstrike Gauntlet, which you apply rerolls before you apply butterflies.
-1
So if you're hitting on, if you're a Gallon, it's better to have the reroll ones. Or at least it's exactly the same to have the reroll ones. Whereas for anything else, it's better to have this.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty.
It is good.
Yeah, so if you're taking a house crash, you want all the combat stuff you can get. Basically.
And then you've got the Waller trait, which is the first night, so you always reroll ones to hit. This is just in first line of combat, right?
Yes.
And then the relic is the headsman's mark, so you get +1 damage against units with wounds characteristics of 10 plus and +2 damage if it's instead Titanic. And it works on all weapons. So what I was thinking with this is you can even take this on a Castellan. You don't need to take it as a close combat army. So what you're doing is now suddenly that calls Wrath, which overcharge has 3 damage. You get +2 damage on that.
Wow.
With the headsman, but you can't because calls Wrath is a relic.
Yeah.
So you have to take the basic one, overcharge it for 2 damage. You put the headsman's mark on
4
the
damage,
and you're doing 4 damage a hit.
Wow.
Because basically what you're doing is you're maximising the amount of damage per hit, and you're getting more hits through shooting when you're after combat.
And does every model get to reroll the hits in Close Combat as well?
Yeah.
So yeah, like Chris is saying in the chat, Crash with Warglaves. Since last time we talked about Knights, I have this image of like 4 to 6 Warglaves.
And then 1 Castellan.
Yeah, just running around, like his little Velociraptor squad.
The Warglaves just block stuff, and you don't deal with Warglaves, you're going to end up with, like, I don't know, a good number of multi-melodies in your face.
Yeah, because if you...
So if you go after the Castellan, the Warglave's are going to kill you. If you go after the Warglaves, the Castellan's going to keep killing you.
Yeah.
And the Castellan's getting +2 damage.
5 Warglaves, you're doing 5 D3 melter gun shots, or melter lances, sorry.
Yeah.
And they've all got melter guns on top as well. So there's 5 melter guns there. That's quite a bit of output, and then they're all re-rolling to hit in combat.
And it also beats the list I was talking about, double Castellan with the Raven and the Free Blade. Because what you end up doing is you have to shoot at a Warglade no matter what with all of your guns.
Yeah, especially that's that's a really good point. Why?
Well, because you've got to take 2, either you take 2 debuffs, whatever they're called, burdens.
Yeah.
And the second best burden for you to get is the one that means you have to shoot at the close enemy unit. So you could either risk it and hope you just get the one burden that you don't actually care about on the roll, and that's probably the only way you win. But if you're picking 2 burdens, realistically you're going to have to pick the one that means you have to shoot at the close enemy unit. And if the close enemy unit is 1 Warglaive, then, or at least let's say your opponent's got 6 Warglaives in the way, you can't kill all 6 of those Warglaives with the other Castellan, so that you then are free to shoot the Castellan with your Castellan. Whoever's going to see Castellan is absurd. But basically, it's reducing the efficiency of the Free Blade by just taking lots of little small units which just block, and then you have a big Castellan at the back.
Do you know the way to avoid that though?
We'll go for it.
Just don't take a Free Blade because it's up.
Well, there you go.
That's my thoughts, Tom.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I did
one way around
top of the show. I did.
If you don't have the Armogers, I think we're okay.
Right. Let's be conscious of time.
Okay.
Next house.
House Volker.
Yeah.
And their tagline is Firestorm Protocols. So you reroll hit rolls of 1 for a model with this household edition whenever you're resolving an attack with a ranged weapon that is targeting the closest enemy unit. I quite like this one. Obviously, anytime you're getting re-rolls is great. And I like to take Knights with the Avenger Gatling Cannon, Battle Cannon, all the shots in the world.
You do?
Yes, it's only against the closest enemy model, but I do think with Knights, particularly when you're on the top moves bracket, you move at 12, and you can position and reposition in a way that you most of the time you can. I think you can probably engineer that to be quite good for you. So I quite like it.
Yeah.
And there's a sweet combo, which I like with this particular house. So if you take a knight with whatever, the Avenger Gatling Cannon, and there's the Fury, which is a generic Avenger Gatling Cannon relic.
And then the stratagem, which is called Saturation Bombardment, 1 command point.
Yeah.
So you use the stratagem before shooting with a Volker unit, and each unmodified 6 to hit becomes 2 hits. And then you get the extra hit off the Gatling Cannon as well, so you get 3 hits.
Yeah, so the Fury one, is a 6, is an extra hit. So effectively, each 6 you roll with the Gatling Cannon, you get 2 extra hits, and then you're re-rolling your 1s, so you're going to roll more 6s.
Wow.
But then obviously the House Volker stratagem works with the rest of your weapons as well, which is really, really good. So you tool them up with as many shots as possible. Pretty nice.
Here's the thing. All of the Mechanicus households have some form of use.
Yeah, I think overall, the Mechanicus households are way better than the Questoris ones, personally.
Yeah. I agree.
Because Raven and Tyrannus are top going to 40 stats as well.
In their use and success at tournaments, absolutely.
Yeah, the Questoris ones.
Wait, did we find out whether or not Dionysus beat the Imperial Knights at the
I
weekend?
don't think we found out.
Dionysus, go.
It's important news.
I just want to know if you did, because no Necron player has ever beaten a Knight player, and according to those stats, I just want to know.
And
No, he has, because he beat me in a practice game.
Nah, not a
tournament.
tournament. Has been registered.
not when you're playing properly.
Yeah, not when
Yeah,
you're
that's
playing
true.
properly, Nick.
No.
So is that all of the houses?
Are you excited?
Mm-hmm.
No, well, what, are we doing relics now?
We've done tradition.
We've done all the relics on these.
household relics, haven't we?
Yeah, we haven't done
I
generic
can do
relics.
some generic top
Because there's
pick.
Iron Bulwark. I know that's...
I have some generic top pick relics. if you would
Go
like
for
to
it.
know.
Yes, please.
Yeah, let's go.
So we have
Tom's top picks.
top picks from definitely not notes. We have Sanctuary, which is a 5+ invulnerable save in both ranged and melee
Okay.
all the time.
So can I just, before we go any further, like there's something, before we get into the knights and the artifacts, obviously the houses, all of the abilities that you see in the houses apply to all of the knights, including the Forge World knights. But now when you get into relics, when you get into stratagems, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. So the only, so both the Styrics and the Megara from Forge World, they are able to utilize some of the stratagems that you would use on any other Questoris knights inside of the Codex. However, the taller fellas, the lanky boys, they aren't able to use stratagems. They are, and the only way you're able to give them an artifact or a relic is if they're your warlord. But what's really interesting is they already come with like the Lancer, for example, already gets a 4 save in close combat. The Atropos already gets a 4 invulnerable save against shooting and a 5 invulnerable save in close combat. So actually, while the Forge World Knights don't gain access to the stratagems and relics as easily as
They have other things to
the
compensate.
Citadel ones, they do have other things massively to compensate. So actually not terrible. But yeah, sorry, go on.
No, you're fine.
It's like Iron Bulwark on an Atropos would just be a waste because you already...
Exactly. So you also have the Paragon Gauntlet, which replaces the Thunderstrike Gauntlet, which is a melee weapon. So it's strength times 2, AP -4, and damage 8.
Wow.
And it doesn't have a -1 to hit, which most Thunderstrike Gauntlets have. So it's extra damage and it hits more.
That's really nice.
You then have Armor of the Sainted Ion, which is a 2+ armor save, which is really, really good in normal games. So if you're playing against towers, that's pretty good, especially Fire Warrior heavy. And then you have Endless Fury, which is the Gatling cannon you were talking about. So it replaces the Avenger Gatling cannon. It's 36-inch range, heavy 14, strength 6, AP -2, damage 2, and each unmodified 6 to hit counts as 2 hits.
2? It's 1, isn't it? Pretty sure it's 1.
It might just be +1.
Pretty sure it's 1.
Each unmodified 6 counts as
Else,
1 hit.
I was playing it wrong.
What, you could have had more hits?
Let's have a look.
Endless Fury.
Scores
2 hits. Oh, 2 hits
Okay.
instead of
Does
1.
this stack with the other thing?
Yeah, pretty sure.
What's the other thing?
So the other thing we're talking about is the Volker thing.
The stratagem.
So each hit on a roll of a 6 counts as 2 hits. So does that count as 4?
Does it say
no, I
eight?
don't think so.
Does the other one say each six
Each
to hit
6.
counts as 2 hits?
And this one also says that.
So then it's both. They both just count as 2 hits. Like you just have the same roll twice. It doesn't mean 4. It just
Okay,
means
so it doesn't stack.
Yeah.
Okay, so
if it said double,
yeah.
If one of
Yeah,
them
of
said
course.
double, that would be excellent. Yeah.
each hit roll of a 6 counts
Yeah.
as 2 hits. And that one-
Instead of 1, yeah.
What if you or is the 6 becoming a second 6 and I have 2 6s which then double? It's like bacteria.
So those are your top picks.
Top picks.
Iron Bulwark.
Well, so Iron Bulwark is a
Bulwark-
warlord trait. Should we do
Sorry,
the top
yeah.
picks
Oh,
for
is it?
warlord traits?
Let's do the what? So what?
Is
are
Iron
the
Bulwark
top-
a warlord
What are the
trait?
top
It
picks
is.
again?
It is a
And what do
warlord
they go
trait.
on?
Sorry?
Top picks again, and what do they go on quickly?
Oh no,
About the
I wasn't
relics.
talking about Iron Bulwark. I was talking about Armor of Sainted Ion,
Yes, which is an artifact, a relic.
which is a relic.
So the
So I do have Iron Bulwark in my top picks for warlord traits actually. So I basically picked all the warlord traits except for one for my top pick.
oh right,
So
it's not
never
really
mind.
okay.
So I have Iron Bulwark, which is a 4+ invulnerable save against ranged weapons.
So bang that on you, Castellan.
Slap it.
Well, just any shooting out.
Love it. Then you have Knights Seneschal.
Seneschal.
There you go. Good job. And then +1, which is +1 attack. Landstrider, which is by far my favourite. So you get +2 to advance and charge rolls.
So if you put the Seneschal obviously on the Gallant and you took him in Knight
Terran, I think.
Terran,
So
then you would have 5 base
6.
Charge, you'd have 7.
And then you use feet, 21 attacks.
So you'd be doing 21 stomping feet.
And then you
attacks.
could fight twice with that.
Oh wait, hold on, wait.
So you could have 41 attacks in total.
Wow. 1 second, with the Terran thing, because the Terran thing is important. So the Terran thing is, where do you get the extra attack from? Terran.
When you charge.
When you charge.
What's it from there?
Or the household tradition.
No, you get the Terran thing is +1 to your advance and charge rolls.
Oh, what's the +1 attack one?
Griffith.
So
Yeah.
Griffith. So if you
Yeah,
Griffith.
21 attacks, hitting on 2 is kicky. And then you're Imperial as well, so when you die, you can fight again, kicky.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so you can get 42.
You can get 42 attacks.
As long as you die.
But you won't hit on 2s for the second match, at least you'll hit on 4s, because you can't.
Unless you use machine spirit.
At the start of a turn when you have 4 wounds.
Yeah. You've got to plan for these things.
Really interesting.
You've got to plan for
feel
these things,
nothing.
man.
Yeah, plan ahead, dude. And then you've got the basic warlord traits. So land trait is my favourite. +2 to your advance and charge rolls. Friendly household units within 6 inches, which is really nice.
That's your favourite warlord trait.
Oof, bang time.
One of my favourites, my favourite is blessed by the
I had that one down too.
Saristicians.
Yeah.
So that is choose 1 weapon, not an heirloom, and that your warlord is equipped with. Each time you make an unmodified wound roll of a 6, it suffers an immortal wound in addition to normal damage. I like this one because knights overall in the codex don't have that much access to mortal wounds.
It's worth double checking though. A lot of these were the ones where on the roll of the 6 you get some kind of bonus. They all say unmodified now.
Yeah.
So if anyone says, "Oh yeah, well, the modification affects that," double check it.
Yeah, it's unmodified. So knights don't have a massive access to mortal wounds, and I would generally put this on a Gatling cannon just because you get more shots,
as many shots,
more chances.
Or potentially a castigator.
What's it? Oh, is that the flamer
shots.
one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, it's not the flamer. No, it's the blade. It's an Acheron with a blade.
Oh yeah, that's like a heavy bolter thing, isn't it?
Yeah. The only way you can get more shots. It's strength 6 -2 does 2 damage. The only way you can get more shots really is if you get a mega bolter.
Here's one that I always like if you're not taking another one. So it's Cunning Commander. So you get +1 command points, and you get 1 free hit roll, wound roll, damage roll, or save roll per battle. So if you're at the start of the game and you've already got a warlord trait, you spend 1 command point to give one of your knights that warlord trait, and then you get your command point back again. You just get a free reroll.
So knights have got some sort of weird Eldar bullshit rule as well, like the Dark Eldar one.
I think so, yeah.
Yes, it's free.
What's free?
This.
Cunning Commander's free because you spend 1 command point to give one of your knights a warlord
Yep,
trait,
it's called Exalted Court.
and then you give him Cunning Commander, and you get a command point back.
Yeah. You just give him a free reroll.
Yes, you just get a free
With
roll.
Exalted Court, yeah.
But it does mean if you say I wanted to give so I want a Diamond Bulwark on my warlord, or whatever, and then I want a Blessed by the Saristicians, and then something else as well. Then it's effectively mine.
It does specify you can only use your stratagem once per battle, so you can't just spend it repeatedly.
But if you can spend 3 to have 2 extras, can't you?
Yeah, you could, or you could just spend 1 to get 1, and then 1 to get 1, and 1 to get 1, and 1 to get 1, and so on. If I hadn't specified that.
Yeah.
And then you just give all of your knights free rerolls, 4 days.
Okay. Be specific with the actual information that people are hearing.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's only once per battle.
Yeah.
It'd be very funny if I hadn't put that in.
Yes, good.
That's all.
Yeah.
Be careful with that, because it is Games Workshop.
Okay, good. So the top picks for warlord traits.
All of them apart from the last one.
What's the last one?
First in reputation.
-1 leadership within 12. Or -2 if you're within 6.
All right, let's skip that one. That one sucks. I
Let's
like
erase it
the
from
charging
records.
one, although realistically, depends, because do I like that? It depends how I was building it. It's so dependent on how I'm planning on building the army.
Yeah, I think so.
But, I do like the concept of a bunch of knights running over, but similar, I don't know, like the hybrid knights are in such an interesting place, right? Your castigators, your Acherons, your paladins, those guys that have got a weapon and a shooter. You're like, you don't fit. You should be charging, hitting on 2s in close combat, or sitting at the back of the board with a billion guns. And I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm just saying it's hard to find your place in the game. Do you know what I mean? When you're only limited to maybe picking 3, maybe 4, if you're getting lucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's next?
So warlord trait sorted?
So the only
Well, sorry.
Yes, the only thing we haven't really covered so far is the stratagems, but did you want to come back to those after?
Yeah, I think come to stratagems at the end.
I've got a few top picks for them as well.
Okay. All right. So do you guys want to start? We're going to do the knights in chassis order, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So start off with the armigers.
Ermagers.
And you guys should, if you guys look at the screen, you got a cool. You guys will have to wait a couple of minutes, but
It's okay. One second.
Let's go. Movement 14, 12 wounds, toughness 7. They have 5 vulnerable save against shooting, and the Helverins and the Warglaves are what are in this class of knight. So you guys should see that on the overlay as I say it, which is fun.
It's okay. I've got a phone that's slowly loading on the Wi-Fi.
Technology.
I'm out of mobile data, so this could be bad.
You guys can just watch it another day if you want.
You've mentioned it now. I'm hyped.
Okay. Well, I'll leave it
another
on
time.
for a
It's
minute.
fine. It's fine.
So we're going first. Helverin.
Yeah. So I've given all the base stats of the chassis,
Base
right?
stats. We've got the base stats.
So now the difference is between the loadouts, effectively.
The difference between the two is basically just the weapons, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So one, you're like a short-ranged. You've got melter guns. So you have a melter lance, no, a thermal spear.
So this is the Warglaive.
This is the Warglaive.
Warglaive first up.
Warglaive. So you got your thermal spear, range 30, D3 shots. It's an assault weapon. Strength 8, AP 4, damage D6. But if you're at half range, it's 2D6, be the highest. And then you've got a Reaper chain cleaver.
Ooh.
And you can either do a strike, which is like a thrust, or a sweep, like a sideways chopping motion.
Wow.
They're both obviously melee attacks. So the strike is times 2 strength, so it'd be strength 12, so you're wounding knights on 3s. AP 3 damage flat 3. But a sweep, you make 2 attacks instead of 1 for each for this weapon.
So you make 8 attacks.
8 attacks in total. But it'd be only strength 6, AP 2, damage 1. So I do like weapons where you've got double profiles. You got, depending on what you fight, you can.
Yeah, it's super
choose.
useful.
Customizable.
So I initially thought these sucked, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, same.
Do you have the points value for these?
164.
164. If you take the melter gun.
Yeah. No.
So
174 now.
So either
No, it'd be 170 with that one because the stub is 4 points.
So for me, I initially thought these sucked, but as time goes on, I'm just I'm more convinced by these a little bit. Just because, like, it's a lot. You're going to be doing all your anti-vehicle into the big boy if you've got a big boy in your army. If you're running just knights or a couple of big boys, so these guys get like a little bit of preferential. Like you can just avoid them. The striker, the 4 attacks with strength times 2 minus 3 damage is nice.
They are 17 points for Metal Guns. It's 177.
Okay,
this worked correct.
Obviously they're toughness 7, 12 wounds. Like they're pretty resilient.
Give them Taunis, so now
Pretty
sudden. Well, the thing is with 12 wounds is it's really efficient for anything that's damage 2 or damage 3 or damage 4 to shoot at them. Because you're effectively just getting a multiple of it, right? So you think, okay, I'll need this many through, and if I fail this many saves, they die.
Yes.
Whereas if you take them as Taunis, you only need to pass 1 6+ DPR to effectively force another shot to come into you. Just because of our ratios.
Yeah,
So
that's really good.
It saves you an extra wound.
Okay. Yeah, but I like these guys because I think like you're doing the melter gun. I would always take the melter gun with these guys. So I've got melter gun, I got D3 shots, rocking from the thermal spear. Then I'm going in combat, and they move 14 initially before they get wounded, and then that 30-inch shot is actually pretty decent.
Well, plus you can advance and shoot a thermal spear if you're doing it -1 to hit. It's better than not hitting at all, right?
I'm not a massive fan of having
the Warglaive.
Yeah, because they only hit on 3s. You get very few shots. You've not got any way, unless you take in House of Volca to make the shots more reliable, hitting or wounding. So I don't know. It's not that reliable for me. I don't know.
It depends if you have a point spare, and often when you're playing knights, you will do because they come in such big blocks of points. You might have like 70 points spare, and I drew put these 70 points. I can't buy another knight. So you might want to be putting the melter guns on then. The issue with the thing is, they're just going to be running around, and if they ever get near your knights, it's going to do some serious damage.
Yeah,
and you can only kill 1 at a time.
I don't know. I'm not against them personally. As time going on, they're fairly cheap. And it's not.
Are they actually going to do serious damage to a knight though?
If you've got 10,
well,
of them,
because
yeah.
so it's all about like 40k is such a game of definitely. It's like, hey, I've got this unit, rerolls to hit, rerolls to wound, and do you know what? I'm going to spend some fun points. It's firing 19 times. It's definitely going to kill
Sounds
the
like a
unit.
Shining Spear unit.
Yeah,
They
like,
also fire 19 times.
You what?
And never mind, there's a number of attacks they get in close combat.
All right, okay. whereas like the Warglaive, yeah, it's a sort of D3, so it might be 1, and it's a 3+, so you might miss. I agree, but it could be 3. You can hit with all of them. You can wound with all of them. They fail the save, so it could be 3d6 damage.
And when
it could be, yeah.
Yeah, and when you're running a bunch of them, the
like
averages work out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Plus,
I agree with you. More than likely, more like against a knight as well, you wound on a 4+. So like, but against other against other armigers, it's wound on 3s. So yeah, it's not brilliant. But then with the melter gun on top, it's another one to add on.
Well,
like,
it's not
you can one shot a knight with one of these.
It's a melter gun, it's
Yeah.
a thermal spear, and it's the Reaper Chain Cleaver.
Mm.
Yeah, if you take that into account, if you take it into account, one of these guys can not statistically, but can just go through a bigger boy knight all day long.
And if you're fighting twice with Terran.
Yeah.
The problem is the way that we're doing
Still think,
bigger knights
to go through
Well,
one night, you still need quite a number of these.
And if you're using Terran, you're not going to be able to fight the second
I
time.
don't think you need.
I think you need 4.
You need
take down a knight.
4 do you need 4? But to reliably.
Well, 'cause I think you only got
2
4
shots, 1 hit.
attacks. Let's say 3 hit, and let's say 2 wound, and let's say they don't make any saves. That's still 6 damage, so you need 4 to take it down in 1.
And then he charges in.
But what if you're not aiming to take it down? What if you're just aiming to slow it down a bit? And then maybe
Oh, yeah,
you see
that's fine.
what was it? Hawk Shroud that's the double your number of total wounds for.
Yeah.
Maybe you start to see that.
Well, my only this is if I was against like vehicles or Imperial Knights or other things. When you come to the Helverin with its 16 shooting, it's heavy. So this is the other version of the Armiger. So heavy 2d3. He's got 2 of them, so it's 4d3 shots really. 16 range, strength 7, -1, doing a flat 3 damage. Now that looks great, but I've used these at a tournament before.
You don't like them?
Well, no, it's
We all have.
So you're wounded on 5s, like with a strength 7 against toughness 8 things, which sucks. You don't have a lot of shots as well. It's -1, so normally they have either their invulnerable save, but more than likely just a 4-up save against it. So it doesn't really punch their armor in any particular way. It's great against Eldar flyers. It's great against Eldar all day long. And it's obviously that 16 shooting is brilliant. But against infantry, the 3 damage is too high. Well, unless you're fighting custodies, but then again, they have to fail their 2-up save, which is a 3-up save.
And even men have got 4 wounds, so it's not efficient.
Huh?
Even men have got 4 wounds, so it's not efficient.
Custodies have 3 wounds.
On bikes, they have 4.
On bikes, they have 4, yes. There are ones on foot, Tom.
I know. And everyone
They
is saying,
exist in the
Do
Imperium.
exist.
and everyone's saying that's good. They're good is just wrong.
If you use 2 or 3 Helverins, you can lock another knight in close combat. You could lock them. You could use the Warglaives to like body block.
Yeah.
An Imperial Knight.
Until the knight
doesn't
kills
take
one
it.
of your Warglaives and just kicks it and just
Well, you
walks
need
out.
3 for that?
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
But you could use it to do it on a Castellan.
Yeah. Until it flip belts out. Watch out!
They can't.
No.
Because it can only move over infantry, can't it?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Good job.
It needs to get there first, though. But-
Yeah, exactly. They've got to get all the way across the board. They've got to get through the wave of guardsmen.
In the context of League of
And then
Knights,
get
I'm not
there.
so sure because it wounds on 5, but against everything else, the AP -1 isn't a big deal because you compensate for it with the number of shots. So effectively you're getting 4d3 shots, which is 8, you're hitting 5 times, you're wounding 3 times, whatever. I mean, your opponent fails 1 or 2 saves, okay, it's not that big, but then your damage 3 is really doing something. So you're taking out more than half a Ravager most of the time, or what have you. Or half a Rhino, or whatever you fancy.
Yes.
Like, it's pretty damn good for that. And it's not just, they're not just there as kind of a shooting base, but there as something that can wander around and then do a shooting base.
I suppose that's the difference really between the Helverin and the Warglaive. Helverin, what you're doing is, like you say, probably doing 3 or 6 damage to something. Probably. And like the Warglaive, some games, and this is the difference, again, between really safe gaming, which is usually the benchmark of people who perform well at tournaments, or
Well, it comes back to that intermediate advanced thing.
it does. But then, what you also aren't allowing yourself to do really is with the Helverin is allowing those. Do you know what? The Warglaive just blew up a knight. Like you aren't allowed. Now I agree with you. It's not very unlikely. It's not like 98%.
It's unlikely.
Yeah, but it is unlikely. It's well over like it's in the low teens percentage wise for your chance to do it. But a couple of them are having a go at it, running around, and there's the threat, right?
Yeah.
Like that's an interesting thing as well.
If you're rolling with 5, like the cost is what, like 800 points, something like that, just over 800 points. So if you're running with that, it's like, okay, if one of them gets lucky, it's to win the game. Because now you've got, let's say you're running 4 knights, and then you walk a bunch of warglaives, turn 1, and you just go hoo 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 hoo, and you kill a knight. So now you've got 3 knights to deal with all those warglaives. Okay, you've done that. While you're doing that, there's a castellan behind them. I genuinely think that could be pretty strong. Lots of warglaives and one castellan.
Could be a thing.
With crest.
Yeah, warglaives. Yeah. It's just something about it. So I've run the Hellrunds. We've talked.
We know you don't like the Hellrunds. We love the Hellrunds.
Yeah, maybe it's just it's the punchiness. I just love that there's bolter guns and the thermal spears. I'm just like, do you know what? Fail you save, D6 damage. Cool. I'm just going to keep going for it. And if it's in half range, it's not D6. D6 bit the highest.
Yeah, 2D6.
And it is a 30-inch shot, so you've only got to be within 15.
Yeah.
So
and then you're moving 14 inches.
Yeah, they're pretty quick. They're pretty nippy, aren't they?
And you can advance, so it's up to 20 inches. Plus you've got Land Striders, another 2 inches. That's 22 inches. Whee!
Yeah.
Not bad.
They're doing Naruto running.
Yeah.
Just like
backwards.
Yeah, you could convert them all like that, couldn't you?
We've talked them through.
One last thing to say about them, you take them in vehicle squadrons. So you can have 3 per Lord of War choice.
But once you've placed them down, they act independently.
Yeah.
Although they are deployed as one drop.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about those guys before we move on?
Nope.
No.
Are you going to take 1 or are you going to take packs?
I'm going to take 6.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to take them in 2 because that's the only number I have. I've only got 2.
Right. Next up, the next chassis, as you guys should see on the on the screen there. This is a Questoris class chassis.
Is that the normal?
Movement 12, 24 wounds, toughness 8.
This is the
5 of the vulnerable save. And you've got the Crusader, the Gallant, the Paladin. You've got the Errant, the Warden, the Preceptor. You've got the Styrics, and you've got the Megara. Both of those last 2 are from Forge World.
Yeah.
So the difference between this, obviously, and the chassis, the Armiger class that we saw before, is +1 toughness, +12 wounds.
Have you got a video for this one?
Yeah, it's playing.
Oh,
-2 movement, so it's movement 12 as opposed to movement 14. Obviously, 5 up invulnerable save again. Explodes. In this one, it's 2d6 range, suffers d6 mortal wounds.
Spicy.
And they've got the super heavy walker rule, so if they're locked in combat with infantry or swarms, they can run away.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Run away.
And then act as normal.
Yeah, and then still charge and shoot, etc.
And walk over them.
Okay, so so then really the difference, so we talked about the key stats, the only time that there's any difference is when you talk about the Gallant and its weapon skill 2. Yeah? And then you're just really talking about weapon loadouts, effectively.
Yeah, well this one's slightly more buffy towards the Armigers. That's all.
So the Preceptor is unique.
It's a support.
Yeah, so Preceptor is a support knight, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait to do some MOBA Fire style gaming.
It's like
with
a
the
tanky
knights.
Soraka wandering around.
Do you want to explain to people what it is? What is?
So it's got a rule called Mentor, which is reroll 1 hit rolls of 1 for friendly household Armiger class units within 6 inches of this model.
That's pretty cool.
It kind of defeats the purpose of what Armigers do for me, because you want them running around just being dicks.
Wait, no, Armigers are the class. So do you mean Warglaives or do you mean Hellrunds?
Either.
Oh, okay.
I think I'd just be taking him with the Hellrunds though. This guy.
You can do.
Just
That's probably the way you're going to do it.
Armiger, Hellrunds.
But the problem is you're then sinking a lot of... I feel like you're sinking too many points into this guy for the reroll 1s when you could just not get the reroll 1s and buy a shooty knight instead.
Yes.
Personally. Yeah. I feel like it's better to get another shooty knight than it is to get reroll 1s and a Hellrunds while dying this guy.
Yeah.
I don't do that. Hellrunds are quite that good.
But you do get the Las Impulsor, which is his special weapon.
And you get to say Las Impulsor.
Yeah, you do. So you can either do it at low beam mode or really crank it up. So heavy 2d6, strength 6, -2, doing d3 damage. So definitely designed to be taken out Space Marines, I think.
Yeah. That's ironic.
And then at 36 inches, and then at high intensity, it's got 18-inch range, heavy d6, strength 12, -4, doing d6 damage.
My question is, why isn't there medium intensity? Why is it high or low?
Because you only go to the extremes. You never go for a medium.
Yeah. It's either cold or hot.
The medium is for people for fence riders, Nick. So we're not fence riders.
Don't know if you've seen. Don't know if you've seen Games Workshop's methodology with their scoring and rules writing. They're like, this is good,
Dartboard.
or this is bad. Yeah.
Oh, you mean this is good, and this is good, and this is an ironclad. It's also good.
No,
This is good.
I don't mean how they talk about it. I mean how the rules end up. Right.
This is bad, and this is Eldar.
Yeah.
This is bad,
Yeah.
and this is Eldar.
That's how it works.
He's also got the Reaper Chainsaw, but obviously you can change that for Thunderstrike Gauntlet. And a model replaces heavy stuff with a melter gun and water laser, and you can take a car-based weapon. So probably we shouldn't, like, everyone knows what a melter gun is.
Yeah.
The Thunderstrike Gauntlet is the first time we'll talk about that. So you got, really, sometimes when you can choose between them, you've got strength +6, so strength 14, -3 doing a flat 6 damage from Reaper Chainsaws when you're available, or you've got strength ×2, so strength 16. So it's the differences between when wounding on 3s or wounding on 2s, but the issue is you're -1 to hit if you want to wound on 2s, again, and it's -4 and doing 6 damage.
Yeah.
So there's your hi JJ number 10, hi Kurt Angle. So yeah, like those are the two differences. What are your preferences between the two different weapon loadouts for close combat for the kind of a lot of the Questoris knights?
Oh, the Questoris knights.
Well, these the Thunderstrike Gauntlet or the Reaper Chainsaw are the two options.
I do like the Thunderstrike Gauntlet just because it doesn't have -1 to hit. It also +2 strength. Oh, the Thunderstrike Gauntlet, even though it has the -1 to hit.
You prefer it even though it has the -1 to hit. Ooh, that seems like a puzzle to you now. Nikos, what about you?
It's +1 to wound or +1 to hit.
That's what I mean.
What's better mathematically? 1 second.
I prefer Death and Jess. Thanks for following us. Personally, right? Chainsword's better. I agree.
If you're hitting armor,
more hits, because I think the more damage, the more you go down your damage profile, obviously that additional -1 hurts you more
in a big way.
So I prefer to be hitting more.
I think
more chances of wounding, even though that's less likely.
I think in isolation, the +1 to hit is better than +1 to wound. For these, however, if you can drop it on another knight for the extra D3 mortal wounds, the gauntlet is better.
Yeah, but that feels like we go back to the wargame conversation of if.
Like, it's contextual though, isn't it?
Yeah, and the Thunderstrike Gauntlet is a lot more fun.
It's like you can't say, the Reaper Chainsaw is objectively better than the feat. It's like, well, what if I'm trying to kick a guard blob to death? I'm not going to use a Reaper Chainsaw.
Yeah, which
it's
is
the same thing.
but like the Reaper Chainsaw and Thunderstrike Gauntlet, I think is close enough that really the conversation is. I personally think Reaper Chainsaw, although the Gauntlet is more fun.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
I can't decide which looks cooler. I do like the chainsaw.
I've done my entire thing. I have a
thing.
whole list of
You
things
forgot
to
the
talk
thing.
about. Fucking hell. So annoyed at myself. Do you know Armigers? Yeah?
We do
In
know
heraldry, an Armiger is a person entitled to use a heraldic achievement, e.g. bear arms or an armour bearer, either by hereditary right, grant, matrication, or assumption of arms, such as a person is said to be armigerous.
Armigerous.
Speaking of, by the way, I've just finished writing a list, that Warglaive list.
Yeah.
You can take 1 Castellan, 6 Armiger Warglaives with melter guns, and 2 Armiger Warglaives without melter guns.
Okay.
You get 8 in plus the Castellan.
You would definitely be armigerous.
I would.
Yeah.
I would love them.
There's a lot of
You
people
got that in
bearing
all my
arms.
research, and then we haven't been talking about it. Also, a preceptor, if anyone's interested, was historically in charge of a preceptory, the headquarters of certain orders, the headquarters of certain orders of monastic knights, such as Knights Hospitaller or Knights Templar, within a given geographical area. Preceptor had supreme control of his brethren and was only answerable to the Grand Master of his particular order. A preceptory's main focus would be its church and accommodation of the brethren.
So I watched a YouTube video the other day about someone who'd written a Grey Knight into the Sonic OC wiki character, fan wiki characters. 40 minutes of just 40k lore just spammed into it. It sounded exactly like that.
Well, I just thought I'd bring these up.
It was horrendous.
So we've talked about the close combat weapon. How do you guys feel about the Las Impulsor on the knife?
It sounds cool. It's got a good name. I like it.
Yeah, it sounds cool, but I don't think it's that great.
You don't think it's
I'm
that
being
great?
positive.
No.
Well, no. What I'm asking is the Las Impulsor and the Reaper Chainsaw or Thunderstrike Gauntlet worth good enough that you think, okay, actually, I also would like to have the reroll ones for the mentor, or
No.
is there a better quest or a chassis?
The
a
last
no from me.
Impulsor is so crap, it's not worth it.
So I think that the interesting conversation really to have before we go any further is when you're looking at the Questoris chassis, you've got the Paladin, which is all the guns, and you've got the Gallant, which is all the combat. Is there ever a point in splitting your difference?
As in taking a Crusader or one?
Yes, I
think so, yeah.
You think so?
So what you'd end up doing with the old Hive Tyrant builds is you'd have 2 Hive Tyrants, which are just for shooting him, and 8 which were half and half. Because the combat was still pretty good, and you got the extra shooting as well, which was nice. So, I mean, with the Knights, often you don't actually find yourself needing a Reaper Chainsword or needing a Thunderstrike Gauntlet. You just want the feet because you're kicking stuff to death.
Whereas Nikos, you've run 3 of the Crusaders, right, at a tournament.
Just all shooty.
And then, did you find that, like, would you have ever wanted to trade one of your guns for a Reaper Chainsword or a Thunderstrike Gauntlet? That's what I'm asking about the Questoras.
No, of course.
Because I feel like it's either one or the other.
I don't know if I've had enough tournament experience with them to properly answer that, because the tournament I did take them to, I only fought one player with another knight, but he had the Castellan, and I only had one opportunity to get into combat with it, which in that situation it would have been great to be able to have the chainsword because you're doing loads of damage. But I think overall I'd prefer to have more guns than chainsaw, because I think the feet are an adequate substitute for the choppy weapons.
In which case, Chaos are actually okay, because even though you lose the households, you can get the double guns.
Oh no, I think the households are really, really good though.
We did have so this is
we'll talk about the difference between. I think we should do an entire another thing about Chaos versus Imperium. Okay, so Knight Preceptor for me fits in that hybrid category where I don't like it. That's okay. So then talking about the Knight Paladin. Next up, and he has a
do you have
Reaper Chainsword and the Rapid Fire Battle Cannon, but again you can change the Reaper Chainsword for the Thunderstrike Gauntlet, and that's the only thing that makes him any different. And again, so do you see what I mean? I don't really see there being. I'm like,
well, the Rapid Fire Battle Cannon is a big upgrade from the Laz Impulsor, even if the name isn't quite as cool.
Yeah.
Plus, with certain houses, you can upgrade the Battle Cannon for a Terran, I think, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
For a better Battle Cannon.
A better battle.
Which is you roll 2d6, pick 3d6, pick with 2 highest the number of shots.
Battle Cannon, by the way, is one of my favourite weapons ever. I think it's great.
It's just really good.
Just ridiculous range.
So good strength. 72 inches, strength 8 -2 d3 damage.
Yeah, and you get 2d6 shots, so you can just get a horrific amount of shots with it. So good.
Yeah. Interestingly, did you know that the paladins, from the Latin palantius, meaning servant or government official, sometimes known as the 12 Peers, were the foremost warriors of Charlemagne's court, obviously the incredible French heraldic knight and king. According to the literary cycle known as the Matter of France, they first appear in early chansons de geste, such as the Song of Roland, where they represent Christian valour against the Saracen hordes inside Europe.
Yeah.
So that's where paladins first appear in literature.
11th, 12th century.
Yeah. Cool, right?
Yeah,
and very, very, very integral to imperial, into heraldic knights.
Yeah.
Obviously, Charlemagne being the kind of the king of all heraldry at that point in history.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
But personally, Knight Paladin, I would just take the Crusader. I'm just going to go skip you, fuck you. Yeah. I take the Crusader. That's my opinion.
Yep.
That's fine.
I agree.
Carry on.
Two agreements.
What the hell is an errant?
The next up is an errant, and he's equipped with the Reaper Chainsword and the Thermal Cannon. So same difference. Again, you can change the Reaper Chainsword out, and I'm in exactly the same boat.
I think this is okay for League of Knights.
This is good for League of Knights because it can do 2 jobs at once, right?
Yeah. Well, it's the Thermal Cannon, and then if it gets close, you walk up and stab it in the face. Aha!
Have at thee, sir.
Have at thee, sir.
Milady.
Interestingly, a Knight Errantis, a figure of medieval chivalric romantic literature, the adjective errant, meaning wandering or roving, indicates how the knight errant would wander the land in search of adventures to prove his chivalric virtues, either in knightly duels,
so he's a D&D character,
or in some pursuit of courtly love.
So he's a D&D character.
He really is. He's every hero in every quest.
Oh my!
He's
like Princess Bride.
Yeah. So my only reason to take a knight errant would be so that I could be in search of adventures to prove my chivalric virtue in some sort of pursuit of courtly love.
Oh my!
Yeah. Otherwise,
so you're literally looking to fuck your enemies.
Hi, J-Pick. I thought the Paladin was a holy knight, a hybrid class, the ability to play So that Datcom, that's what the Paladin has eventually become. But most of, really interestingly, most of the knights, the naming nomenclature that you find in the Games Workshop book seems to derive from like classic heraldry in France and English heraldry, whereas everything from Forge World seems to come from either like Greek mythology or like Romanesque mythology, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Where they've gone with that.
Yep.
Don't know if that it probably doesn't mean anything.
Maybe they're just interested in different eras.
Yeah, because most of the stuff from the Forge World is obviously based around the Horus Heresy, which is obviously very Roman and Greek-esque legions.
Yeah.
Just worth pointing out.
They're literally called legions.
Yeah, but the Errant I wouldn't take. I'd take the Crusader, or I would take
the Gallant.
The Gallant.
Speaking of the Gallant.
Speaking of the Gallant,
It kicks things.
and I have nothing useful to say about the Gallant.
It kicks things. Yeah.
It's got a fist and a sword, and it's got the difference is it's
Weapon skill 2.
It also has a heavy stubber.
Well, they all have a heavy sword, don't they?
Yeah, but it's important.
Why?
Because it's 3 shots.
But so he also has he's weapon skill 2. He also has 5 attacks as opposed to 3, right?
Oh,
4,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty key. And then he's a close combat. He's got no guns apart from you be able to take a car-based weapon, but probably don't just run him stock as cheap as possible.
You literally run him.
Yeah, you literally run
your
him
opponent
and terrify them with his close combat. And obviously you can pimp this guy out. You can be Warlord.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can get a close combat invulnerable save. Watch out.
Close combat invulnerable save. And really, you're arguing between a Gallant who's very cheap, or something like an Atropos, which can be rerolled to hits and to wounds, or a Lancer. Both the Atropos and Lancer.
Cheapy boy.
But this guy is cheap. If you want a cheap Warlord, a bargain basement Warlord, this would be your
To
man.
give Lance Strider and say, there you go, and you go.
Yeah. Okay. So did you guys rate the Gallant?
Yeah.
Would you take 3 Gallants?
I did.
And how did it go?
Crap, because I couldn't move because the terrain was really thick.
Is this an ETC?
Yeah.
Again, another problem, realistically. Like, with guns, you rarely have to deal with the terrain.
Yeah. Well, apart from people hiding.
Well, yeah. But then you would have to play a tournament.
Ironically,
without
how I
terrain.
also played with the Gallants.
No,
please.
I'm little, don't shoot me. How do you think this would work? Would this guy be any good in a knight-only meta, like the League of Knights?
Yes.
I think they would be very good.
Because you can take 4 of them comfortably.
Just fucking big boy running.
I think you take 5, actually. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
you
take
take
5, no
5.
problem.
Yeah.
Also, you know what, native activations, that's quite
It's
useful.
like 1750 points for 5.
Wow. Okay.
Give Long Strider, they're all...
But that hitting on
Yeah,
2s
very
in
quick.
close combat's massive, right?
Yeah.
But in this situation, would you still take? Would you? I know it's dependent, but Reaper Chainsword.
Oh, that's the point.
You're more likely to take the Thunderstruck Gauntlet.
Well, you don't have to choose though, do you? You just have both, and you get to choose in each situation, don't you?
The only problem with taking 5 is 1, you can't because of the beta rule. And 2, even if you did, you'd have 5 and you'd max out your 1 attachment. And you still wouldn't have spent most of your points.
Personally, I could definitely see running one of these. You just lob him.
Have it.
He's a hand grenade.
Yeah, he's just
a holy
like,
hand grenade.
Deal with this.
Yeah, deal with this. Plus, it would just be brilliant.
Especially
like, you
with
could really
Tyrants as
model
well.
him as well, like just full tilt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
full ham.
is what I was doing. You see, I had 3 of them, which were Tyrants. It's like, right, deal with those. It's loads.
Yeah.
Although they had to get there first around, like, whoop, slalom.
Yeah. But especially now that could these guys still step over models?
Infantry.
When they fall
Only
back.
when they're falling back.
Yeah, when they're falling back.
So there was the guy, right, who you basically what you did it was when you were playing in Heat 1,
Oh yeah.
you had your bloodletters and you stuck them out in a line, but you
Yeah.
didn't charge because now he either has to charge bloodletters or he charges nothing. Because if you charge for bloodletters, he can just fall back over himself for bloodletters and charge the rest of your stuff. Whereas because you done it that way, you're blocking him.
I did.
Yes, it was good.
I defeated him.
You did. Well done.
Okay, so next up, the Warden.
Yeet.
Yep. A Warden is a person who's been entrusted with the oversight of something important to the community, such as a college, church, prison, wild game of firefighting.
What?
It may also...
What?
Yeah.
Wild game of firefighting.
Wild game. Or firefighting.
Oh, wild game.
Wild game, like
You're protecting-
Fear of the Forest.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
You're protecting the wild game so that other people can come and kill it.
Well, no, the king can come and kill it.
He's
Yeah,
just
not
a dude.
peasants.
Yeah.
Be gone, peasants.
Shoot the peasants.
But you're a space tractor.
Yeah, so the Night Warden has got the difference is the Avenger Gatling cannon. And again, personally, for taking that, in my opinion, I'd want the battle cannon to go with it. So the Crusader's better.
Or you take a second rapid fire, Gatling thing? Because
you're taking Chaos. Yes.
Yes.
So, unless, do you two disagree with that?
Nope.
In any way, shape, or form?
No.
So then, talking about the superstar that is himself, the Crusader, would you like to hear some stuff I know about Crusaders?
Love to hear
Yes.
something about Crusaders.
Crusaders were in the Crusades.
Oh, am I? How about that?
Full of religious hate,
Yeah.
committing hate crimes all over the place.
However, as be able to the shooty knight, I guess, the mini shooty knight, I guess.
Yeah.
You got the Helverin, then you got the Crusader,
And then you got the Castellan.
and then you got
It's like Pokemon, they just evolve.
yeah, and then you've got the Porphyron at the top.
This
Yeah,
is not my
the
final
That's
form.
the Awala version, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was called.
So all the same stats, but obviously able to take the rapid fire battle cannon, which is heavy 2d6, strength 8, minus 2, d3 damage, and then the Avenger Gatling cannon, heavy 12, strength 6, minus 2, 3 damage. Then you take a car-based weapon, and you definitely would at this point, because you're
Probably,
shooting, you're not moving.
Yeah.
And what would you take?
Well, I don't know. I think there's arguments for all three. Obviously, the big one is basically 3 crack missiles.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got 3 strength 8, minus 2, damage d6 missiles. And then you've got a d6 shot, strength 5, AP 2, damage 2, 1. But the benefit of that is it can shoot things that it can't see, which I found quite useful when I took it to the tournament, because basically people might hide little units here and there that you're not quite finished off.
Hive Guard.
You can just, Hive Guard or...
Dark Reapers.
And they've got really long range on that missile as well. What's
Yeah,
it called?
It is called it's the carapace thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, for goodness sake, it's not helpful. We couldn't put all these weapons
What, the
in
Hellstorm
correct
rocket
place.
pod?
Boom! He
So-
knows.
No problem. Just ask me, and I got you.
And then
Got your
there's
back,
the
brother.
Ironstorm missile pod, which is the one that can shoot without line of sight.
There you
Yes.
go.
And then what's the
String. It's AP -1 as well, so it basically ignores the cover.
yeah. And then you got the other one is the Twin Icarus autocannon, which
Which
good
has got a
against
great
flyers. It does have a great name.
It looks silly.
It's heavy 4, strength 7, AP 1, damage 2, but you add 1 to flyers and subtract 1 to anything else.
Did you guys ever play Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PS2?
No, I wouldn't give it EA my money. A bunch of cunts.
It was a really good game.
So sorry about the C word if you're listening to
No,
the
you're
kids.
fine.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It's
I'm
fine.
so sorry.
It was like in 2004, wasn't it?
I'm not saying they're like the Nazis.
But
Kind of like.
so this was.
Kind of like.
I mean the old one, not the new one with the loot crates.
Oh, okay.
The old one.
Okay. In the good old days.
Yeah, the good old days.
No.
Yeah, Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah, Pepperidge Farm remembers.
So
it looks like one of the little turrets you now.
oh yeah.
On the
Okay,
top.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like that turret as well. That was good. I got to say, the Night Crusader for me stands out. I played against Nick's Night Crusaders, and then especially good when Nick played with. He just took 3. It was just a deafening amount of like firepower
More
at range.
Daka.
It was just awful to play against. And I really rated it.
They're great against Eldar.
What?
Yeah.
Gatling cannons are just
They are
brilliant
good
against
Eldar.
Eldar.
If
Fantastic.
people don't remember, they have fire and faith.
Yeah.
So you're a big. So yeah, the Gatling cannon obviously great against Eldar because it's strength 6 minus 2, doing 2 damage with 12 shots.
Yeah, it's got a lot of shots.
A lot of shots, and then the rapid-fire battle cannon is just good against everything. Strength 8 minus 2 d3.
Yeah.
It can be good against everything.
It's
Yeah.
the feat of the gun world.
It is the feet of the good one.
Stop firing your gun feet at me.
Who throws a shoe? Come on.
People have a fetish for certain battle cannons.
Right, so yeah, they do. So out of all the Questoris Knights, just give the guys in the chat like some feedback.
Are we doing Sir Hector? Or,
No,
sorry,
we're not.
not Sir Hector.
Screw that guy. He was rubbish.
He is shit.
Yeah.
Don't
So,
bother.
like, if you want to take him, but just leave him. Diagnosis, did you beat an Imperial Knight list this weekend? I need to know. Inquiring minds in the chat. He's just asking. So yeah, dudes, what would you pick and why?
Well, I would pick the Crusader just because all the reasons we talked about. You get more shots. You got the feet, which are really good in combat anyway.
Do you know what?
Give it a carapace weapon.
Keep going.
There
Sorry,
you
I'm
go.
just
There you
talking
go.
to myself. We forgot 2 Questoris Knights.
Oh, it's fine. The Forgeable
The
one.
Forger ones.
That's okay, we can do it in a second.
We did. But I don't think my choice would change necessarily.
I think mine would.
Although actually, yeah, the
Mysterious.
Forge one.
The 4 plus and honorable saves are huge. Yeah.
The Styrics is
This
brilliant.
is true.
We can do those now.
Or
Yeah.
So would you like to start with the Styrics?
Aha!
Would you like to?
I would like to.
Okay, well then, interestingly, do you want to hear about the history about the Night Styrics?
Yeah.
Housing machine spirits, which some say became too accustomed to slaughter during the Age of Strife and the Great Crusade that followed it, many conservative night houses consider the Styrics to be a malevolent pattern. The wanton destruction it unleashes being beneath a true knight. Other households hold no such reservations, loosing entire formation of Styrics knights to annihilate their foes.
So guys who go around in massive killing machines are like, hang on, that killing machine is just
That's too much.
It's a little bit too killy.
Yeah.
I'd rather not kill my enemies who are out to kill me horrifically that badly.
We might send more.
It's a bit too much.
It's like Napoleonic Wars. It's like, should we run at the enemy, Sarge? No, walk in a line.
Walk in synchronization.
To that small,
slowly.
pubescent child's drumming. Yeah? Should we protect the young lad, sir? No, he's there to die. We have several more drummers. That's why we teach him the simple songs.
Fetch the next boy.
Fetch the next drummer.
This one's broken.
Keep walking. Don't run.
We're gentlemen.
We need to make it at least terrifying so we can tell the story to our wives later.
The Styrics has got no more wounds, so still the same.
Yeah, still 24 wounds, 4 attacks.
It's all the same. It's all the same biz. But it got Blessed Altus Macula, so at the beginning of your turn, roll d6, result 5+, heal a wound.
It also has a Volkite Chevrolet, definitely pronounced right, which is 48 inch range, heavy 5, strength 8, AP -3, damage d6, and if you score a 6+ to wound with this weapon, it doesn't matter if it's modified or not, the weapon scores an additional automatic hit at the weapon's normal profile, which is resolved after the initial attacks of the weapon on the same unit, and they do not generate additional hits.
So it basically has 5 melter gun shots at a very odd 45 inches.
Yeah. I like this. I think it's my favourite weapon.
Yeah, it's fun.
It
It's one of my
generates
favourite nights to use in Night Fight Night.
I really do like this.
Because the Chaos version is a hell burner.
Yeah.
Hell burner.
But the
How
5
do you
shots,
burn
like
hell?
you could very comfortably, like you can always get lucky and get a couple of 6s on those 5 shots,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
Like, and now you're talking 7 melter shots. So effectively 7 las cannons. Well, not quite, 'cause it's strength 8, not strength 9. But like this thing is decent, like, and it's doing that d6 damage, which I think is awesome. And then you would more than likely give it the Hecaton Siege Claw because you already that's what it's sold as. So if you give it something else, it's very odd.
It's got the Graviton Crusher and the Reaper Chainsaw according to the thing, but you'll have to buy the Hecaton Siege Claw.
No, this Hecaton Siege. So when
that's
you
where
buy
it
it,
comes
you
out,
get the Chevrolet and the Siege Claw. You actually also get the Chainsaw as well because it's basically in addition to the normal sprue that you would buy for a Questoris Knight.
Or you can sell the chainsaw.
So you can eat, but there's no point not taking the Hecaton Siege Claw because with it you get the twin Rad Cleanser, which is only
I forgot about the Rad
Cleanser. Nikos loves this fucker. 90 trade, assault d6, it auto hits,
all the rad.
and it always wounds on a 3+, except against Titanic vehicles, in which case it always wounds on a 6.
It still does the damage though.
Right,
It's got damage.
It's got no AP and it does 3 damage.
If we're going to argue against the Hellrune, we've got to argue against this because it wounds on a worse profile and it doesn't have an AP value.
Oh what?
Well, it's
But
like a
but it
Hellrune.
hits automatically.
Yeah, but it also wounds on a 6 and it doesn't have an AP.
Only against Titanic and vehicle units.
That's what we're talking about.
Well, no, but if you play another Knights, but what, Custodian's Bikers?
No, that's good. It's good info.
Yeah, you're just like...
Although you are AP 0, so they get 2+ saves.
Agreed, but then each one is a dead one.
No, Custodian's Bikers.
Oh yeah, they've got 4 wounds.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But foot custodians, though,
But
that do exist.
And then
you
you
know
walk
what-
up and kick him in the head anyway and they
It kills
die.
Skyweaver jet bikes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
kills-
Harlequin's a shit, mate. Come on.
Alright, mate, that's only for that. And it also kills your fellas, doesn't
Don't
it?
you play Knights now?
Kills some Shining Spears.
Just goes shine
Goes through Shining Spears.
Unless I have Protect Up, so I have a 2+ save.
Wouldn't be too bad against Drukari.
And also, here's the thing. So Shining Spears, unless you get the charge, you're just going to kick him to death in close combat anyway. Same with Foot Custodes.
Well, yeah, but it lets you deal with 2 jobs at once. So I'm over there, and I've just killed an Imperial Knight with the Volkite Chevrolet.
Yep.
I'm over here, and then I've just killed, I can't think of, a bunch of Custodians on foot with the Rad Cleanser, and then I've charged into another Knight with a Hecaton Siege Claw. This guy's a multi-threat. Yeah, he's just like, he's a Swiss Army knife.
2 knights and then 9 custodies in
Yeah, just on his own.
In a turn.
On his own.
With AP0.
Yeah.
I love your optimism.
No, I don't. But heavy 2d6 shots of auto hit basically is like,
It's a flamer with flat 3 damage. That's what it is.
which if you take the Knight Acheron as
It's
an
called
example,
a Rad Cleanser, and it wounds on freeze against some things, and it's got damage free,
It-
and that's why it's good.
it's
Yeah.
really
Right,
good.
there we go.
It's great.
Anyway,
Maybe my opinion is just influenced
But
by
the fact it's called a Rad
using
Cleanser.
it in Night Fight Nights and having loads of fun with it.
Yeah, it is a fun.
also something to point out: the Knight Styrics also vehicles cannot claim the bonus +1 to their save for being in cover against this model.
Whoop whoop. Do they can? They need
Yeah,
to be
50% obscured.
there's 2 criteria. You have to be 50% obscured and in terrain. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same piece of terrain, but you both have to fulfill both.
So
those
no cover
criteria.
for you,
Oh,
Yes.
right? Also, it explodes like a normal guy. But it has a 4-up invulnerable save against shooting and a 5-up invulnerable save against melee attacks,
Which is really good.
And that
That alone is pretty awesome, yeah.
So against some other Imperial Knights, it's dueling pretty solid, and then it's also like very survivable. So, and I feel that the extra points you pay for this over a Gallon,
Yep.
yeah, is worth it because it's just got so many. It's just got so many things that it can do,
Yep.
Mm.
2 seconds for you.
and you can also still use stratagems on it.
So
Yeah.
it's 475 points with the Siege Claw and the Graviton Crusher and the Volkite Chevrolet.
And the Rad Cleanser?
The Rad Cleanser, do I have the points for the Rad Cleanser?
I think it comes in the Siege
Yeah.
Guard, doesn't it?
Oh,
Comes-
then
it
it's
comes
in
in
there.
the Hecaton Siege.
In
There you go,
Side.
475. Also, it makes it really difficult to charge, actually, because every failed save is really bad for you.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so charging it, yeah, auto hit flamer to charge.
Yeah.
But I got to say that heavy 5, on paper, you look at it, you go, but actually, I reckon in games, it's going to just keep doing its job.
It's pretty durable.
That's
So
my
you're
point.
paying a lot for it.
We've
but
talked
it's not
about
a Gallon,
this
yeah.
with Imperial Knights for a long time, haven't we? And the Megara and the Styrics are kind of outside picks
I
that
think,
people don't
I
really
think you
run.
can take 4 of these.
You could take 3. in
I
match
think
play.
you can take 3. Sorry,
Yeah. 3 in match play. It's solid to.
You can take 3 and a Castellan.
Well, you almost.
Yes, you can, because Castellan is 603 points.
Right.
And then these are 400 odd points each. So no, not quite. No, not quite.
But I'd be see for me. I think I'd be tempted to take this. I would take it over a Crusader. I want the Crusader to do the Crusader's job, but versus a Gallon, this guy does this is the only hybrid of them all, and it's because the survivability is why I would take it.
Well, it's not really built as a melee knight, but if you get close to it, you can melee.
Yes,
It's a shooty knight, but can melee sometimes and doesn't die.
exactly.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it.
Yeah.
You want to do the Megara?
Sure.
Sadly,
Okay.
it's worse a cousin.
Oh,
Okay. It's the
sickly
it's
cousin.
the disappointing brother.
Yeah.
So it can also heal a wound. It can also vehicles cannot claim their +1 save for being near cover, and it's still got the 4-up invulnerable save against shooting and the 5-up invulnerable save in close combat. So that's obviously fantastic.
Mm.
Yep. What's the guns? It has a lightning cannon.
It does have a lightning cannon.
It does.
It looks like a shit Helverin. It's heavy 6, so fewer shots. Strength 7, same strength. AP -1, same AP. Damage D3, lower. Wounds.
But it's got an ability though on its wounds. So a wound roll of a 6+. That hit is resolved at AP3 and is damage 3 instead of
Look,
D3.
you get the damage free if you roll something lucky on your fewer shots.
Yes.
And it's got a 48-inch range rather than a 60-inch range.
So it's not wonderful, but it's still very tanky, like we talked about. Plays for it's got the phase plasma useful, 24 inches, ref fire 2, strength 6, -3, 2 damage. Weirdly, not a big deal. But it also still has the Hecaton Siege Claw and the twin Iron
Rad
Cleanser.
Cleanser.
Yeah, but the lightning cannon sucks.
We need to do that every time someone runs one of these.
Yeah, we do.
The Red
That's
Cleanser.
the Rad Cleanser symbol.
Yeah, but
He's
the,
got one of
the
these.
Megara is
One
a
of
lot
these.
worse than its cousin Styrics.
Yes.
Poor guy.
But the Styrics is the other choice, I think, out of all the Questoris Knights.
Yeah.
Crusader, the Gallant, and the Styrics.
Oh, did we talk about the blessed auto simulacra?
Yeah.
We didn't
Yeah,
mention
heal a
that.
wound on the 5+.
That's really crap.
Yeah, but it's not because if it's that one wound that puts you back up a bracket,
That's true.
that like situationally it is it's not like it's an extra 50 points for that, but it's like sometimes it will actually change.
It'll save you 1 command point.
Huh?
It'll save you 1 command point.
There you go.
There you go.
In the right situation. Right?
In a very specific situation. Yeah.
So personally, I think. Do you guys say the Styrax gets to be in there on that class?
Also, guys, have you seen this? So the Megaera is 28 power level. Mm-hmm. How many power level do you think the Styrax is?
Not cared.
24.
I've never cared about power levels.
It's lower power level than the Megaera.
Yeah, it's
also Forward World. It's also the words power level.
Yes.
And also, who gives a shit?
I do, because I can run on a Super Chicken.
In some sort of narrative tournament.
And I won it.
Oh my God. God's sakes.
And they never ran power level again.
So, are you guys, do you guys comfy with Questoris? You happy
Yeah,
that we've
Questoris.
done justice?
Dominatus, or whatever it is.
No, it's not. Because
Oh,
we're going
my.
up. We're going up,
Forge
up, up.
Worlds.
So next up, as you guys can see on the screen, is the Cerastus class.
Oh,
The
my.
difference between these is these guys are movement 14, so
Good
plus 2
lord.
moves. 27 wounds, toughness 8 still, and then it's the Acheron, the Atropos, the Castigator, and the Lancer.
Oh my.
So we got plus 2 movement on these guys compared to their
Yeah.
Questoris brothers.
Yeah.
They've got plus 3 wounds, same toughness, same invulnerable save, apart from some of them who have got better invulnerable saves. But these guys don't have access to stratagems, and you can't use stratagems on them, and you can't use relics or artifacts on them unless they are your warlord.
Why is that?
Because they are, it's been FAQ'd that they gain the access to household, but most of the stratagems apply to either Questoris or Dominus class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they're none of both.
And this is why I've done it in classes.
They don't even have
Cerastus
a
class.
So they have Imperium, Questoris, Imperialis, and Household classes.
Okay.
So you can still use the Household stratagems?
You can't use.
Oh,
no,
can't you? Okay.
I'm almost certain you can't.
Okay. Why would you not be able to use them?
Because it got FAQ'd that you can use the household stratagem, the household rules, but not strats.
Okay.
I'll double check that though while you guys talk about which one do you want to do first.
Should we do the Acheron because it's the front of the book?
Yes.
Okay, so the Acheron is 27 wounds, so it's got 3 more wounds than the average Questoris. It is armed with an Acheron flame cannon, so it's 18-inch range, heavy 2d6, strength 7, AP -2, damage 3, so it's like a Helverin with 2d6 shots rather than 4d3, and plus 1 AP, and it automatically hits. But it's also quite short range, but it doesn't really matter too much because you move 14 inches anyway, so it's 32-inch short range.
Mm.
It has a twin heavy bolter built in, because, yeah, why not? It has a Reaper Chain Fist, so that's -1 to hit in the Forge World books.
Sadly.
Yeah.
So it's basically, that's like the...
It's more like the Thunderstruck
the
Gauntlet.
Thunderstruck Gauntlet, but without the ability to throw things.
Yeah, exactly. And
Which is
then,
not quite as
and
good.
then it's got the feet. It's still got the Blessed Auto Simulacra, so we regenerate 1 wound with 5+.
Yeah.
It explodes big. It when it advances, it rolls 2d6 rather than 1d6.
So you've got extra range on your flamer.
Yeah, well, you're a heavy.
Oh, it's a heavy flame. It's not
Yeah.
even assault. Oh, that
Yes.
sucks.
Yeah.
Why would you ever really want to run then?
Yeah. To get closer down, hammer and anvil, you just run and then you just wait next turn and you go, aha! And you flame.
Okay.
That's how it works. So it's got 5+ invulnerable saving and shooting. It can fall back in movement phase and still shoot and or charge. When it falls back, it can do so over infantry models. It doesn't say anything about swarms though,
Oh no.
which is
Get your scarabs out.
Yeah, get your Nurglings out.
Yeah, so it doesn't. So specifically, you're able to make it either Questoris Allegiance or Questa Mechanicus. So that you would just have to check whether or not the stratagem that you're trying to use on them. Most stratagems won't be able to be used on them effectively, but you gain the household benefits.
Yeah. It also specifies that it can move and fire heavy weapons without suffering penalty to hit rolls. Good job, because its main gun doesn't have hit rolls anyway. It doesn't say anything about advancing and shooting though.
No.
So that's not so hot. And then it's got the cover thing.
So if you had this in-house Raven, though, would you be able to run?
Yep.
So you'd be able to run
Yep.
14 plus 2d6 and then still shoot your flamer.
Yeah.
That's quite nice.
Yeah, it is a
For Raven.
right.
So I've used this in games previously,
Yeah, same.
and it's just that where it really suffers is that versus the other Cerastus Knights is that almost all the other Cerastus Knights have some sort of invulnerable in close combat or a better invulnerable
Yeah.
against shooting, which is fantastic. That -1 to hit is really hurtful in close combat. And the flamer is, so you make most of your damage output really is coming from that flamer.
Yeah.
And if you just roll like a 1, like a 2 and a 3, and you've got 5 shots, you still, it's strength 7, so like -2.
Every
3
wound
damage.
is like a 5+ save, and it's 3 damage if you fail it.
Yeah, I mean, it's decent against Eldar flyers.
Like, oh yeah, it's really good.
You love cooking them, but Elder Flyers will go through this in a turn because it's just
because you can't. Can you use the generic stratagems on this?
no.
So
anything. Well, you have to read what the strategy says.
It depends if it's got the
Dominus or Questoris. Yeah, that's the issue.
So I'm trying to work out if you can use rotate iron shields on it.
I shall have a look. I shall have a look for rotate iron shield. Rotate iron shields. Use a stratagem when an enemy unit touches
it is an Imperial vehicle. Define Imperial Knight's vehicle.
Just Imperial Knight's vehicle. If it's got vehicle and Imperial Knight.
No.
There you go.
Well, it's got vehicle.
It's got Imperium, Questor Imperialis, Household Vehicle, Titanic, and Cerastus Knight Acheron. It is not an Imperial Knight. Look at you.
But anyway.
It isn't.
Yeah, it's just...
It's not an Imperial Knight.
It's not an Imperial Knight.
No, it's not.
Wow.
Anyway.
Unbelievable.
But it doesn't matter. That's why it does, because the faction keyword, it doesn't have...
I'm going to double check House Raven if it specifies Imperial Knights with this.
Hold on, it's been FAQ'd, is what the guys are saying.
Okay, check it. That's important. Oh, it's so funny, mate. I can't believe I forgot that. Oh my word, that's embarrassing.
Anyway, it's okay. Don't worry about it because we're just being pedantic over it.
Oh yeah, but it's important because we need to see if it can actually do things.
Well, no, it can't. That was the point. That's what I said at the top of the show.
Yeah,
it almost can't. Most of these can do almost nothing. You get mainly the household abilities.
Yeah. So it will get these. It gets that.
Perform and then you replace Questor Allegiance keyword in every instance with either Questor Imperialis in the latter, or for your Questor Allegiance, or Questor Mechanicus. For example, if you were to include a Cerastus Knight Acheron in your army, you decided owed allegiance to the Adeptus Mechanicus, its Questor Allegiance keyword is changed to Questor Mechanicus.
Okay, but just to point something out, I'm reading the Household Traditions now, and it says, if your army is Battleforged, all units in an Imperial Knight Super Heavy detachment must be from the same household, but they will gain a Household Tradition. So...
We're just reading rules at each other, Tom.
I know.
I know.
I'm trying to work out, is it an Imperial Knight? Because
So Imperial Knight is a faction keyword, and it doesn't have that.
If it's an Imperial Knight, can it be in an Imperial Knight stratagem? In an Imperial Knight detachment, then?
Yes.
Because they have the Questor Mechanicus.
Yes.
Or Questor Imperialis.
That's why.
Keyword. Faction keyword.
100% can, Tom.
Yeah, I'm just reading into these Household Traditions rule, and...
So again, like we said at the top of the show, you can gain access to the household abilities, like...
I'll look over that.
+2 and charge,
yeah.
But you can use almost none, arguably none of the stratagems.
We're just going to get into semantics now, so there's no point in going into that. So I'll just leave it.
All right. So the flamey guy is not great.
He sucks.
Well, obviously he doesn't have the
I like the flamer, but I think the rest just lets him down, doesn't it?
He doesn't have the invulnerable save in close combat, but he does have the defensive. You have to think twice about charging that flame.
That's true. Yeah.
Especially if you're rolling 12s for it the entire time.
Yes. Not salty at all.
Not salty.
It's just a strength 7 against other knights. He's winning on 5s.
Yeah.
And against even winning on 4s. Like I say, his job really is to take out old R-Flyers, but he's points expensive enough.
He is expensive.
That it's really not worth it.
Uber cool.
And his survivability versus his other stresses is quite low.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Next up.
Atropos.
Yeah. Oh fuck! I forgot my little story bits again.
Oh, tell us a story.
Tell us a story about the Cerastus Knight Acheron.
So the Acheron in ancient Greek mythology, Acheron was known as the River of Woe and was one of the 5 rivers of the Greek underworld. The word. There you go. That's it.
Yeah. So it's named after a river.
Yeah. Acheron knights were configured as
fire.
rapid-moving strike units who rose to prominence during the legendary battles of the Great Crusade, but whose most terrible renown was to be found on the battlefields of the Horus Heresy. Rare even in those ancient times, for the singular difficulties of their construction, the Cerastus Knight Acherons were amongst the most dreaded of their age. And we've just said it was crap. The Acheron's machine spirits were regarded as particularly lusting for wanton destruction, and only the strongest Scion minds could master them via the Throne Mechanicum, especially during the tumult of open battle.
To be fair, the Doom stuff is also meant to be terrifying, so it's not exactly consistent.
No, I'm not shocked that the narrative doesn't match up with the rules. But the Atropos is a beast, right, in the narrative?
Cheers, Grubby. Grubby's just pointing out that the cast so all of the knights that you can find in here has been FAQ'd in the Imperial Knight FAQ. So you have an FAQ in the Forge World Index, and you also have a FAQ in the Imperial Knight Codex, all to be able to find on Games Workshop's website, that mean that they all get the Imperial Knight faction keyword, basically. Okay.
Cool.
So next up,
the Atropos. So they have the same rule, the Blessed Auto Simulacra. Same explode, and they've got the flank speed.
Same number of
2d6 for advancing. They got a 4+ vulnerable save against shooting and a 5+ in combat.
So exactly what we're saying about the Styrics, but then you add this onto this guy. So, but he moves faster, has more wounds, could be your warlord.
Has a big stabby.
And is arguably the best Titan killer in the game.
Yeah, because a rule that I've just seen, that I've never seen before, macro extinction protocols, so you add 1 to hit rolls for this model when shooting attacks against Titanic models.
Yeah, so you'd be hitting on 2s, although it's heavy, so you can't run it, but you're hitting on 2s, and then,
unless you're Raven.
And your strength, House Raven,
House Raven.
Yeah, so strength as user, -2, doing D3 damage. That's the feat, sorry. Look at the Lascar. It's only 1 shot, isn't it, though? +1 to hit.
Yeah, but
strength 12, -4, 6 damage, flat 6. Take that. And if it's a monster or a vehicle, you get you get +1 to hit, right?
So you can make it your warlord. You can use the House Raven stratagem on it.
I'll check because it probably says
you're hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s. You're then wounding on 3s, re-rolling 1s. With the last cutter, and then you're doing 6 damage.
Yeah, it's a House Raven. It's a House Raven model, so you can use it.
Oh, here's a problem. So it gets +1 to its hit rolls, but it also gets against Titanic. But it also gets to re-roll to hit and to wound against vehicles. So
in close combat.
Oh, in close combat. My mistake. Okay, my bad.
Okay. Which game?
Is it close combat? Oh, that's a melee profile.
So the last cutter can shoot one shot, strength 12.
I was just looking at the wrong thing. Yeah,
damage 6, sorry, and then in combat it's
strength 14,
and that's why it's so good.
That's why it's it's mean on the
it doesn't
knife fights.
What I was going for is, does it have an issue with +1 to hit because you apply for rerolls before you apply for modifiers, which it doesn't because that's shooting phase, that's melee.
So in melee is the reason it's so good because it's strength 14 -4 does a flat 6 damage, but you get to reroll to hit and reroll to wound against monsters, building, and the vehicle keyword. So this guy just goes through absolutely everything, 4 attacks.
So if you don't have an invulnerable save against this thing and you're a knight, you can easily be just taken down.
Which is why the Styrics is so valuable.
Yeah, like this guy just goes up against, and this guy has a 5+ invulnerable save in close combat. Yeah. So against a Gallon, so he is a couple of, like at least 100 points, maybe 200 points more than a Gallon. But this guy could potentially survive the strike from a Gallon and then just one-shot it back because the Gallon's got no save.
Yeah,
it's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And you can also rotate iron shields on it to give it a 4+ invulnerable save.
You can. You heal a wound on a 5+ at the start of every turn. And you can also, flank speed, we're making advanced rolls for this model. You can roll 2d6 to determine the maximum distance it may move. So if you want to put it in the right house so you can advance and charge, it can move 14 plus 2d6.
Yeah.
Advance and charge is the stratagem, right?
Yes.
And when you're advancing, you add an extra d6.
You can't full tilt this guy because full tilt is an Imperial Knight's vehicle.
But he is Imperial Knight.
He's not an Imperial Knight vehicle, is he?
He was FAQ'd in
was it?
Isn't it?
Worth checking.
Yeah. It's confusing, isn't it?
It's a mess.
It is.
And we're meant to be helping.
This is going to be really concise. This edition. Definitely not going to have to carry 7 books around everywhere. Just
however, do you know what isn't confusing? Is ancient Greek Atropos or Asia. In Greek mythology, was one of the 3 Morai, goddesses of fate and destiny. Her Roman equivalent was Morta. Atropos was the oldest of the 3 faiths and was known as the inflexible or inevitable, just like your death. It was the Atropos who chose from the mechanism of death and ended the life of mortals by cutting their thread with her abhorred shears. She worked along with her 2 sisters, Clotho, who spun the thread, and Lachesis, who measured the length. There you go. How cool is that? And the weapon is very much like a shear.
Cutter.
It's literally a cutter,
yeah.
which is kind of cool. Las cutter. And then the lore bearing particularly rare and destructive weaponry of annihilation, the Cerastus Knight Atropos was created solely to destroy heretic engines and Xeno war machines. So it is a vehicle and Titan hunter for the enemy, whose very nature and existence was considered a blasphemy to the Omnissiah. The machine spirits of the Knight Atropos are said to carry with them cold and all-destroying hunger, and for the Scion who bonds with them, madness is a constant risk.
I'd risk it.
Because you get to play with Las Cannon.
Yeah.
#worth.
And the Graviton Singularity Karen.
Oh my, but not a Rad Cleanser.
No, there's no Rad Cleanser there.
No.
Right, yes. So, again, they've all got the keyword for Imperial Knights, yeah? That's the consensus of the Twitch chat.
Okay,
everyone
so we can use full tilt on it.
You can use full tilt.
Fantastic.
So that one's a standout in me, out of the Cerastus, personally. And it looks gorgeous.
It does.
Yeah.
Particularly when it's pooping.
So you've got to choose between the Castigator or the Lancer. Which choices?
Do I do the Castigator? I'll do the Lancer. I think that's on your side and that's on my side.
Yeah, the Castigator. Castigator. So he's the fellow with the big sword.
Sword?
The Tempest Warblade.
Tempest Warblade, which is +6 strength, AP3, damage 5, and any result of a 6 for wound rolls against monsters or vehicles, causing additional D3 mortal wounds. On top damage.
Which is...
So it's a Reaper Chainsword, but with 1 less damage, but the chance of doing
mortal wounds.
Which, yeah. Well, I don't know. The mortal wounds is...
It's not the same.
You're not getting save against that.
It's not the same as a Chain Fist, though.
No.
The Chain Fist is -1 to hit, though, isn't it?
Yeah. And then the Castigator Bolt Cannon. Range 36, heavy 14, strength 6, AP 2, damage 2.
Hey, it's a Dark Reaper.
So this was that weapon that you said, blessed by the Sarasticians. Command Warlord trait might be good on, because he's got lots of shots.
Yeah, 14 shots. Every 6 to hit is a mortal wound.
So this guy, if you give him that and his blade, he's potentially getting a lot of mortal wounds. Obviously, you need to roll a lot of 6s, but...
You got the chance to, right? Because you're rolling enough dice.
Yeah.
There's not really much to say about him, really. I think he's pretty good.
He's got just a standard iron shield, so he's not got a saving combat.
He's a close combat knight, but doesn't have a saving combat.
Yeah, so that's not great.
Okay, then.
And isn't as good as the other close combat knights.
No, he's not.
No.
So,
sorry, Castigator.
I go for a no. But castigation is the infliction of severe moral or corporal punishment. One who administers a castigation is a castigator.
Oh my.
Yeah. And there is some moral punishment here if you take one of these.
So
these guys are one of the better looking Cerastus Knights.
That's a shame.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it sucks. Personally, compared to everything else. Drop it out. No.
Okay.
You're bottom of the pile.
Shall I rip this page out?
Please
don't. Rip it out. Just throw it away. It's Tom's book anyway.
So the Cerastus Knight Lancer. Cool, so the Cerastus Knight Lancer, same profile as everybody else. Comes with the blessed Autosimulacra. We're going to get really good at pronouncing that. Yeah. It explodes, it has flank speed, which means it rolls 2d6 to determine the maximum distance it may move when advancing. It has the Ion Gauntlet shield, so it's a 5+ invulnerable save, increasing to a 4+ invulnerable save in the fight phase. And in addition, enemy units with a Titanic keyword within 1 inch must subtract 1 from their hit rolls when directing their attacks against the Cerastus Knight Lancer to a maximum of 6+ to hit.
So it's amazing. So it's especially in night fights, it's automatically -1 to be hit.
Yeah.
And then it has its classic 5 invulnerable save it's shooting, but 4 up in close combat.
Yeah.
That's amazing, right?
A Cerastus Shock Lance as well. So it's strength +6, AP -4, damage 6, and it rerolls to hit in a turn where it charged successfully. Which can also use it to discharge a lethal shock blast. Yeah.
18-inch range.
Yeah. Oh, okay, there we go. It's actually called the Shock Blast. So it's 18-inch range, heavy 6, strength 6, AP -1, damage D3, which is better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
And then it's got feet, which can stomp on. Its war gear options are nothing.
You're taking the shield on the lance, or you're having nothing.
You take a different knight.
It's the most knightly knight.
It's very lance
and shield.
Yeah.
So
very.
If you're serious
English.
about your knights,
Yes.
yeah.
And as we learned earlier, lances were used in mounted warfare by the Assyrians as early as 700 BC. And
I still can't believe it was as early
the
as that.
Polish.
I know.
I thought it was earlier.
To be honest,
Later,
I would have thought it was earlier.
much later.
700 BC isn't that long. It's only 2,700 years ago.
It's just a horse guy with a spear.
Yeah, it's like there's a guy walking around with a spear for like a couple of 100 years, maybe thousands.
Next to his horse.
Next to his horse. And someone's like, why don't you take that stick on the horse? And everyone's like, whoa.
Well, even in Warhammer 40k, we haven't learned this because you're on your jet bike, you're flying at someone with your spear, and then you get off your jet bike and run at the enemy chaff. That's how it works.
If anything, we've got stupider and fallen.
Yeah, we've gone backwards.
However, the Saracen Knight Lancer, because of its reputation, the most impetuous and glory-hungry of the Knight households are driven to bond with these war machines. Their own souls are matched for the fury caped within their war engines. How do you feel about that?
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like there's something on the internet somewhere. But...
Yes. So, out of the 4, what's your choice?
Atropos.
Atropos all the way, baby.
Atropos also, in my opinion.
But second,
although
second
there's
over the
something to be
Lancer.
said for the Lancer, because if someone runs 3 gallons at you, that -1 to hit's a...
Yeah, and out of the Knights, it's like the only -1 to hit thing they've got, right?
Yeah, -1 to be hit.
And it's got a 4+ invulnerable save.
And a 4+ invulnerable save. So actually...
It's the most durable and close combat of all the Knights.
Yeah, the Lancer versus the Atropos is an interesting fight. So obviously you got rerolls to hit, but then you -1 to hit, so that doesn't really help.
Yeah.
But then 4 up invulnerable save versus a 5 up invulnerable save. So probably the Lancer wins that fight.
And then if you rotate Iron Shield, you
I'll
get
do the
3 up invulnerable save, right?
In close combat.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think re-rolling the hits is probably slightly better at healthier profiles, whereas the -1 is slightly better at when the Atropos is dropped down a few profiles.
So yeah, so Dionysus is saying that Lancer with all the Warglaives would be not only like thematically like awesome, right? Like a whole charging army that are also doing like some short range shooting. But he should stand up.
And I think if you were doing that, you'd have to convert all the Warglaives to have little mini lancers.
As opposed to, little chainsaws. Yeah, that would look awesome. And maybe even little shields.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that would look awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun. That's a hobby project for someone out there. Design a 3D, scaled down 3D printed version of that shield that we can stick on all of our Warglaives. Please and thank you.
I'm pretty certain you can make it out of, you know that old Connects that you get as a kid?
All that.
Yeah.
Right, next chassis. I go with you guys, by
It's
the way.
the
Atropos.
Dominus. It's a Dominus. isn't it?
Dominus.
Dominus.
I've done a video for it.
Ooh!
Boom, the Dominus. How the Dominus class has got 2 variants. It's movement 10, so 4 inches, 1 + 1 wound, 28 wounds, and then the 5 up invulnerable save. There's the Valiant and the Castellan. So those are so you've got +1 wound, you've got no more toughness, so 4 less move than the Cerastus, but +1 wound. And you've got the Valiant and the Castellan. Which one would you like to start with? The most famous one or the coolest one?
We'll do the most famous one so we can talk about that Harpoon Dick for a bit.
Okay, go for the Castellan then.
Yeah.
After you, Tom.
Alright, so the Knight Castellan is equipped with a Plasma Decimator, Volcano Lance, 2 Shieldbreaker missiles, 2 Twin Melter Guns, and 2 Twin Siegebreaker Cannons, and Titanic Feet. Not that you're going to use them very much. You can swap the Twin Siegebreaker Cannons out, or you can replace one of its Twin Siegebreaker Cannons for 2 extra Shieldbreaker missiles. So the Shieldbreaker missiles are 48-inch range, heavy 1, strength 10, AP -4, damage d6, and they can only be fired once per battle. So if you're swapping out one of your Siegebreaker Cannons, you are firing 1 Shieldbreaker missile per turn for 4 turns. They also prevent your opponent from taking invulnerable saves by them, and you have access to a stratagem that allows you to target characters that you can't see or normally target. So you can use these to try and snipe out those characters, get a lucky 6, and bosh that character straight out of the game. Your Twin Siegebreaker Cannons, which is what you're changing out for them, are 48-inch range, heavy 2d3, strength 7, AP -1, damage d3, and if you've got 2 of them, it's basically heavy 4d3, firing both at the same target.
So almost those little Hellring cannons.
They're little Hellring cannons, so they are... The only difference being they're heavy they're d3 damage rather than 3 damage, and they're 48-inch range rather than 60.
Yeah.
Although that kind of range doesn't matter too much, really.
But working out that you've basically got 2 Hellrings, a Hellring attached to this guy for
on your
free.
shoulder.
Right,
Yeah. Right.
You're missing out on the heavy stubber, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
So it's still pretty effective on that. You can swap out one of those Twin Siegebreaker Cannon for the 2 extra missiles. I'm not sure you necessarily do that, especially in a night fight night. You then have you can also take the you've got 2 Twin Melter Guns on there, so you've basically got 4 Melter Guns. So if you get close, you just stick your nipples out and you fire lots of melter in them. Exactly.
So again, to put that in context, you statistically have the guns of 2 Warglaves.
There you go.
So if you look at this model so far, he's 2 Helverins and 2 Warglaves.
It's like 2 Helverins and Warglaves had a baby.
Yeah.
You could do a conversion with the Castellan and then a Warglaive.
Just on the side.
Just like piggyback on his back, like a dad would.
Oh,
have,
it'd be quite cool to do. It would be quite cool to do
like
from the waist. It'd be quite cool to do from the waist up.
Do what? Sir?
Like remove the legs just from the waist up and just put them in the slot where the siege breaker cannon should be.
Or put him on Helverin legs and say they skip leg day.
No, not
walking
that.
around his legs,
Not that thing
Not
you
that.
said.
No, chicken legs. That's fine. They've got knees at least. Alright, so you can take their kneecaps. So the Plasma Decimator, so the base stat line is 48-inch range on both profiles, heavy 2d6 on both profiles. On the standard profile, it's strength 7, AP minus 1 damage, AP minus 3 damage 1. On the supercharged profile, it's plus 1 strength, so it's strength 8, and it's damage 2. But you do suffer a mortal wound for every 1 to hit with each supercharging shot.
Pretty big plasma.
Pretty big plasma.
I
So
like
we've been through the Shield Breaker missiles, we've been through Plasma Decimator, we've been through the Twin Siege Breaker cannons, we've been through the Melter Guns. The Volcano Lance is all that's left. So it's 80-inch range, heavy D6 shots, strength 14, AP minus 5, damage 3d3. I mean, you reroll to wound against when targeting Titanic units. And this is why it's so useful in Raven, House Raven, for example, when you're using the Order of Companion stratagem. So you've got potentially, for each wound you get with Volcano Lance, you've got 3d3s you can be rerolling, and you're rerolling each of those ones. Really efficient.
Wow.
You've got the Shield Breaker cannons, you're firing 2 twin Shield Breaker cannons. It sounds really weird to say it like that. You've got 4 d3s you can be rolling on 1s and 2s. You then have a d6 you can be re-rolling on Volcano Lance, 2 d6s you can be re-rolling on the Plasma Decimators, and now you're re-rolling 1s to hit and 1s to wound. It's super efficient with Order of Companions.
Plus, it does have 2 Helverins and 2 Warglaves stuck to it.
Yes. That's what you took away.
Well, like,
And
it's only at that point when we're actually reading through it compared to everything else, because I know it's so cheap points-wise.
Well, it just does a lot.
Is it the cost of 2 Helverins?
Yeah.
It is.
And the weakness you would often say with this is, well, maybe it's a little bit unreliable because you've got a lot of d3s and d6s that you're going to be rolling. Order of Companions kind of removes the unreliability from it, which just makes it insane.
But the price is, it looks like a bag of shit, so compared to the Cerastus Knights,
We've
in
been
my
through
opinion.
this, dude.
I just think he looks ridiculous. I thought that when I saw it in the studio. I still think it now. He looks dumb. He looks like a dumb, big-shouldered. He looks like those people that put oil in their muscles as opposed to like doing. Have you never seen that?
No,
people inject oil.
It's not that. If you think
their
this
body.
looks dumb and big-shouldered, have you seen Space Marines?
Space Marines look awesome, man. Especially the Primaris ones. I think they look badass.
With the big shoulders.
All of them look great. I think Space Marines look badass.
I don't mind the Castellan. I think
it's
the one in
fine.
the picture is not really posed very well. When you just pose it like square on, just shoot, stand in square shooting. But the one of mine I built at home, I've given it a little bit, not massively, but a little bit more of a dynamic pose. And I think it looks a bit better.
And you can customise the base a bit more, put a rhino on it, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Bowmore says he's calling me dumb, me and my big oily shoulders.
Greased up Castellan.
I am Bowmore. And obviously, he's weapon skill 4 as opposed to weapon skill 3, like all most of the other knights.
Doesn't matter, you shoot it before it gets
then
there.
ballistic skill 3. So really, this guy is just
all-out shooter.
I've got some things to tell you.
Tell me a story about Castellan.
I'll happily will. So Dominus, by the way, interestingly, so this is a Dominus class knight, is the French equivalent for Sir.
Milady.
Effectively. It was the Latin title of the feudal superior and lords, and also the ecclesiastical and an academical title. The ecclesiastical would usually be Sir or Sire in French. But interestingly, for the Dominus class, a dominar,
Dominatrix.
a dominar
okay.
in Old English law was a title formerly given to noble ladies who held a barony in their own right. So if your lady love would like to get into Imperial Knights, or if you're out there and you're one of the ladies who listens, and you would like to have a lady love night, for some reason you've listened 2 hours 30 into this show.
I mean, it is ladies' night.
Because it is, exactly.
It is.
You could say that you're running the Dominar class.
Dominar.
Yeah, which I thought was just interesting. And a Castellan was the governor of a captain or a Castellany and its castle. That's what Castellan was. The governor of a castle.
The captain of the castle.
Yeah.
The governor.
The big dude.
Yeah.
Governor.
The governor.
All right.
Governor. The cool one.
The harpoon dick one.
So the Castellan currently the most competitive choice for now. It's in 40k.
Yeah.
It's in the list.
It's in the list.
in
Although I would like to really watch an Atropos just run over turn 1 and just chop it to pieces.
Yeah.
Reroll hit, reroll to wound.
Yeah.
It would have to... Overwatch, though, against that is still quite scary.
It is, but I think you
Because...
can handle it. Onto the Valiant, which is my preferred Dominus. Because if you're going to get an ugly-looking, big-shouldered motherfucker,
He's got to have a big harpoon.
have one with a harpoon.
Yeah.
I'm all about that flamer.
Yeah, it is a cool looking.
That
It
one.
does look
conflagration
awesome.
cannon.
I feel like you could use that on the Acheron. It'd be fine.
Mm.
So all the same stats as before, but you've got the conflagration cannon, Nick. What's it do?
Over the plasma obliterator thing. Plasma detonator.
This is probably the only time I would not choose plasma, given the choice between these two things.
Dark Reaper.
It's a Dark Reaper. So it automatically hits. It may as well be a Dark Reaper.
Yeah.
So it's heavy 3d6, strength 7, -2 with 2 damage.
So it'd be -2 damage. That's all I need to see.
But it's a lot like it's obviously a lot like the Acheron, but you get another d6 shots, but you do 1 less damage, and it's on a much slower chassis because obviously movement 14 as opposed to movement 10.
Yeah.
But you don't charge it.
No, and then you got the Shield Breaker Missile and the Twin Siege Breaker Cannon as discussed.
It's got
And
4
then-
shield breaker missiles standard though.
Yes.
You don't have the option to take 2 twin siege breaker cannon. It's so weird saying 2 twin.
2 twin. And then you've got the Thunder Coil Harpoon, which is range only 12 inches.
Oh no! I'm sorry. Just a second. Can I just clarify something? So, whereas on the Castellan you have 2 twin shield breaker cannon and 2 shield breaker missiles, and you can swap one of the twin siege breaker cannon for 2 missiles. Here you can swap 2 missiles for 1 twin siege breaker cannon.
Nice. Swap back.
Swap it back.
And then you've got the Thunder Coil Harpoon, heavy 1, strength 16, -6, doing a flat 10 damage, and if you hit a vehicle or a monster, you do an additional D3 mortal wounds.
I feel like my AP -6 is just obnoxious and pointless.
It is silly, the -6.
OTT.
Yeah.
You got him, okay.
Yeah, there are invulnerable saves. You guys knew that. You wrote the rules.
If you have a 2+ save, this
Is
ignores
it?
it. If you have a 1+ save, this also ignores it.
What's the best save anyone can get to?
Is it?
The Terminators can get to a 1-up.
Can
Can anything get to a 0? Can anything get to a 0-up?
You can. Shroud's Arm is the same. Yeah, you can. Or you can get a 0 on Bullgrims. You can't do the invulnerable saves anymore, but their flat normal 2-up save can still be improved.
But even the 0-up is ignored by this now.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, that one Bullgrim would be really fucking dead. Yeah, so
No,
dead.
it take it to a 6+ save.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You
just block it with your 6+ armor save. Not today.
So I was reading some stuff about stats earlier about these. The flamer is about the same as the Acheron, but obviously you've got the Thunder Fire Harpoon. But you just don't have as many
Shots. Just in general, no?
Yeah, you just well, I mean, you've still got the 2 twin siege breaker cannons if you want them.
Which you will do, but
You've
losing.
still got the twin melter guns.
But you're losing the plasma decimator for something that's very short range. You're not going to be moving. And then you're losing the volcano lance for harpoon. And volcano lance is just a long range version of the harpoon.
It is significantly worse.
Yeah,
it is significantly worse.
It's still good though.
Huh?
It's still fine. You're just wandering about. And have it.
I guess it's fine.
You will see some.
Yes, because it looks excellent. But for me,
I think after the Castellan gets nerfed, you'll see some.
Well, you mean after its points go up?
Yeah, which is a nerf.
But currently, as you listen to the show, the Castellan excellent.
Yes, Castellan obviously best.
And the Valiant is the loser in that fight.
Yes.
Yes.
If they were to fight each other, the Castellan would win all of the time.
What house do you guys think the Valiant would be best in?
The one that looks really pretty on your shelf.
I actually think still Raven. House Raven. Because what you can do is you can then just move, so you move your 10 inches, you advance, so you're moving 16, potentially 18 if you've got land predator as well. And therefore you're now more likely to get into range of your conflagration cannon and your big harpoon.
Yeah.
You ready for the last one?
There's another one?
There's one more knight.
Oh.
Get ready.
Is it
It's going to stay on the
Porphyrin?
screen. The Acastus class chassis. It's the only chassis we haven't done. So there are 4 chassis. That's right.
I know where we're going.
Yeah, so 30 wounds.
This is the 5th chassis, right?
There's the 4th
We
chassis.
have the Questoris, we've had the Cerastus, we have the Armiger, we've had the Dominus.
It is the 5th, you're right, sorry.
No, you're
Yeah,
fine.
so it's the 5th. The Acastus, 30 wounds. Toughness 9.
What a big boy.
That's right.
There we go.
It's got a normal 5-up
There you
invulnerable
You got
save. And that's it. The Acastus class.
And that's it.
That's it. The Knight Porphyron. There we go.
It's like the Stomper of the Knights.
It's not like the Stomper of the Knights. That's a ridiculous. Like that would be like
Okay,
saying
so-
the Grot is the Space Marine of the Orcs.
Well, if boys are Primaris Marines,
They're not.
and knobs are Terminators.
The Stomper is shit, and it's still probably twice as many points as it should be in 40k. Still, even with the new codex and all you people.
I think it's more than twice as many points as it needs to be.
It's so bad, like, especially when
How
we
many
compare
points-
it to this. What I want to do in the next couple of weeks is when Orcs come out. Is I would like us to just take Stompers.
How many points is a Stomper now?
Well, it's still like 800 points or something.
That's
like
still
that.
too much
It's-
by a mile.
It's dumb bad. Yeah, and like, why? Why would you just like you've got knights, you've got a benchmark for where like it should sit. It's not like you're like, oh, the first super heavy we're putting out is going to be the Stomper. What points will it be?
The first League of Knights in Season 2 is going to be won by Stompers.
It's not going to be one by Stompers, unless it's
past chapter approved 2019.
It's some flat dumb shit. And the only reason I'm so triggered by it is because I would really like to run a Stomper because it looks cool.
I've got 2, I'd really like to run a Stompers.
Yeah, but guess what? You're not going to do, Tom.
No, I'm not, because I like good armies.
Anyway, the Porphyron. Can I read some things out to you?
Yes, you can.
Is that okay?
Story time.
Story time, here we go. So Acastus Knights. Acastus is a character in Greek mythology. He sailed with Jason the Argonauts and participated in the hunt for the Caledonian Boar.
The Scottish.
Yeah. And then the Porphyron, specifically, Porphyron was one of the giants who, according to Hesiod, was the offspring of Gaia. This is in Greek mythology, born from the blood that fell from Uranus. And was castrated by their son Cronus. In some other versions of the myth, the Gigantes were born of Gaia and Tartarus. According to the mythographer.
Mythographer.
Who?
Yeah.
That sounds like a Games Workshop name.
Mythographer's a title. I googled it afterwards.
Well, I'd love to be a
Apollodorus.
mythographer.
The mythographer Apollodorus. Porphyron was, along with Alcanius, the greatest of the giants, and during the, get ready for this, the Gigantomachy.
Okay, well done.
Thank you. The battle, which was the battle between the giants and the Olympian gods, Porphyron attacked Heracles and Hera.
What a bastard.
Quick question.
Yeah.
So, Cronus, I think, threw a penis into a pond, and it frothed and became Aphrodite. Was it Porphyron's penis?
No.
Whose penis was it?
It could have been, actually. Because he was casted, it was
Castrated by Cronus.
Yeah.
So,
Could
whose
have been.
penis did Cronus lob
The
into the
love
pond?
could have arisen from this knight's nuts. I thought it was quite cool learning about the names.
There you go, you propose and you open a box with Porphyron.
I
in it.
want to be a mythographer now. Because
Also,
it sounds
how
like
much
you just
better are
made
the
things
Forgeable
up.
names than the Citadel names?
Much better.
Much better.
They're not French.
Huh?
What?
A symbol says Tom showing off his classical education. So
Yeah.
posh. So, 30
we just
wounds
watched
at Toughness
films.
9. Is Toughness 9 the swing factor for this?
I think it's very good.
Yeah, Captain's Knight. Yeah, because you're the Valiant Harpoon. That's not winning it on 2s anymore.
Charge it doesn't do very much, no. But you got to be able to charge it because it's got because it's difficult to walk into it and charge it because it's got the twin Magna las cannon on it. So
Which
that's
is
72-inch range, heavy 2d3.
It's got 2 of those.
It's got 2 of those, so it's basically a heavy 4d3 if you're firing over from the same target. Strength 12, 18-3, damage 6, and you can't fire Overwatch with it. Not that it matters. You just walk out anyway.
But that flat 6, so effectively you're going to be having 8 shots. It's ballistic skill 2.
Yeah.
You can make it your warlord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many points is this bad boy?
850 points.
Boom. What a beast.
So like you can make it your warlord.
I think I might take this would be Warglaive actually.
This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
This is what I'm rocking. Yeah. And then he's just out and out at range, just at 72 inches, just nuking knights. You're hitting 7 times. You're wounding on 3s. So you're wounding 5 times. and then even if they rotate iron shields, you're getting 3 through. So they're taking 18 damage. Potentially, they're taking the flat 24.
I think the 72-inch range is the kicker here, because it means that a lot of the guns on the... So let's say you have this matched up against the Warglaives with the Castellan. A lot of the guns on the Castellan are 48-inch range. So you could often find a space to hide this, which means that if you want to play for the first turn, you have to stick the Castellan on the front. Which means that, let's say the Castellan goes first, it hits a Porphyrion a bit. It can still do a lot of damage because its guns are over strength 9. You then get to hit it with all of your Warglaives, and then it becomes a 50-50. Whereas if it's the other way around, and the Porphyrion goes first, that Castellan is gone, and it's safe.
Well, if the Castellan's got a 4+ invulnerable save, and then rotate iron shield's got 3+ invulnerable save.
The Castellan has a 5+ base.
But if you do the classic Iron Bulwark and rotate iron shield,
but even then, you're going to at least chunk it down a threshold, I think.
Yeah,
because you've got a lot of shots.
but I think 3+ invulnerable save with a cheeky V1 in there.
Yeah, but that flat 6 damage is like, it's nightmarish, right? Because it's got weight of shots enough that because I was saying that you're only getting 5 hits. You could easily be getting 6 or 7 hits, and you're just like, oh, and a couple of fails, and this guy's just 6 damage at range. Ooh. And then it's on top.
How many
you
wounds
can
do you
either
have?
30.
You can,
Toughness 9.
Wow.
yeah, you can either have the autocannon, which you can either have autocannons, but probably if you're in for a penny and for a pound, I'd take the 2 las cannons you have instead.
Correct.
So 2 las cannons being fired at ballistic skill 2 as well, and then also you've got the Helios defense missiles, or the Ironstorm missile pod, which is I would probably take the Ironstorm missile pod because it's 72 inches, strength 5, flat, no AP, but does D3 damage. But it can target units that are not visible to the bearer, which is kind of interesting.
If you're also taking Crast as well, you're now doing 8 damage a pop with those Magna las cannons.
Pardon me?
If you're taking Crast as well and giving it the relic, you are now doing 8 damage a pop with those Magna las cannons.
Yeah, good call.
8 damage a pop?
Yeah, because you get +2 for the damage when hitting Titanics.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
8
What have you
damage
done?
a pop. Wait, so if you just get 3 through, you can do 24 damage.
Correct.
Wow.
Bananas.
There you go. One
Yeah.
dead night. Enjoy.
That's great.
That's
and then
some of
obviously
this.
also with the last cannon, it's D6 + 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
You could even take Raven and then go for a reroll on the ones, but I don't think you do. I think you just go for straight +2.
Yeah. Wowzer.
Keep the room.
Pretty good, right?
Yes. I think you take that.
And then, so he's got a 5 invulnerable save, as discussed. Against shooting attack, it explodes on a 5+. It heals a wound on a 5+ as well.
Which is a big deal if you're playing against Helverins, because the Helverins do damage in increments of 3, whereas if you're off a multiple of 3, because you get one back. So let's say they take 12 wounds off you. That means if you've got 18 left, that means you need to do 6 more damage. Well, if you get a wound back, now you need to do 7 more damage.
Plus, what's nice is you take one gun, and you go, that tank, or that Lehman Russ.
I kill you.
Yeah, that gun, that Lehman Russ, or that Predator. Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
I do think that House Tyrannus would be fantastic with that as well, because you got
Get it back up
you got
again.
30 wounds, and then you got a 6-up
Yeah.
save against all those wounds as long as they're not mortal wounds, and then when it's dead,
Well,
you might get back up again
gives you
and be
insurance.
shooting again at 5.
It gives you
or
insurance
5.
against getting straight nuked,
Yeah.
which you can do. I think a lot of these matchups are going to come down to households rather than actually what's in the list, because if we're talking about Paul Ferrer can just nuke that and it's just a game of, well, it's not necessarily the case because you've got Tyrannus, or you can play a different kind of game where you sit back and then you just go for it. But I actually think Warglaives actually added a little bit of bonus here, because what you can do is you can sandbag your deployment. What I mean by that is you spend about 8 turns putting down Warglaives, or 6 turns if you're taking something more expensive like Porphyrion, and then drop the Porphyrion down afterwards after you have an idea of where the Castellan's going. The Castellan has the advantage of, well, I've probably got more Warglaives than you. So if you're putting down 7 units, I put down 8 Warglaives, you're not going to see where my Castellan's going. And if you're sticking yourself right in the back, it's fine, I'll play that game. I'll sit in the back of the board.
But similarly, if you were to run, let's say, an Atropos and a Porphyrion in a night battle, let's say, you've got to turn 1, you've got to deal with the Atropos because he's going to come over and kick your dick in. But then you're also like, there's that other fella at the back who's also pretty good.
Yeah, he's got 72-inch range, that one.
Yeah.
He's all right.
I mean, that's quite expensive. And again, if you're talking normal 40k, you've got hordes being an issue against something like the Porphyrion.
Not a problem.
But it will deal with everything else.
Yeah, 100%.
Which I think is.
Although if you can get a knight into close combat with the Porphyrion, then you are in trouble, I think. And there are ways you can do that, because there's a Crystal Imperialis stratagem that allows you to outflank. So that means come on the edge of the board, outside of 9 inches of the enemy unit, and then if you're taking Terran as well, you get to roll 3d6 for your charges and pick the 2 highest. So what you're ending up doing is you've now got a way to sneak in, get into combat with Porphyrion and deal with it, unless your opponent wraps.
Yeah, it takes a couple of Warglaves as defense raptors.
Yeah, just screen, just keeping an eye out. Yeah, looking around for Terran.
Really solid choice. Yeah. Really solid choice. So, would you rate the Porphyrion? Would you take it?
I think in League of Knights, hell yes.
What about in competitive for you?
No.
Does the toughness 9 not really get you excited?
I don't think that the problem with Knights is their toughness value. I think the problem with Knights is that they can't actually clear hordes that well. And which is why I think we'll move into a kind of horde-based meta with Orcs, Genestealer Cults, Guard, and Demons, and then Chaos variants with Thousand Suns as well. I think Eldar can deal with that okay. Not great, but okay. And I think there are builds that you can take for Eldar that can deal with it. I think Custodes might make a comeback, and I've been saying this a lot to a few people. I reckon Necrons could be in a position where they could podium in 3 to 4 months.
No, disagree.
You have to take 2 volts.
Fuck that. fuck that. No. I'm not doing that ever.
All right, so that's fair.
One at most.
All right, so interesting. They're all the knights. Out of them all, what's your standout knight choice?
It depends on the content. So if we're talking League of Knights, Porphyrion. Yeah. If we're talking for standard 40k, probably the Crusader.
Yeah, that would be much. So for normal 40k, I love the Crusader just because
shooty boy.
You're good in combat with your feet, and then you just have millions of shots.
Yeah, you don't need high quality shots. You need high volume of shots.
Yeah.
Bring back Storm Ravens.
But
no. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say, but I would agree with you. I think the Crusader, having played against the Crusader, the Crusaders just stand out.
Pound for pound.
Yeah, especially as I doubt it will get his points.
Honourable mention to the Gallant.
It's
cheap and runs at you.
Well, I think I prefer the Styrics.
That's fine.
I'd pay the extra points for that level of survivability.
Oh, it depends on the context again. Then, do you allow Forge World or not?
Oh, yes. Always.
Okay.
Like, if someone's got a toy, I think you should let them play with the toy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, saying, do you allow Forge World, but then we're okay with Guilliman rerolling to hit, rerolling to wound, and Eldar doing whatever bullshit they do, and Talos. And someone's like, but no, I don't agree with Forge World.
It's not about that, it's about whether or not the rules are actually make sense. So we don't allow recon for the same reasons, because it's a badly worded mission.
That also makes sense, but just because the bullshit comes out of a plastic book as opposed to a resin book doesn't mean it's not bullshit.
I'm not talking
about
all
bullshit.
But that's not what I mean by bullshit. What I mean is something can be broken all at once. We don't really give a shit. The problem is when it isn't actually usable. Because it's just worded badly and the rules don't work. It's like the recon mission. So what do you think
some of the Games Workshop publications.
Well, what's broken in there apart from recon?
Well, until they do their little 2-weekly FAQ, and quite a few fucking things.
There you go. But do you get a 2-weekly FAQ for Podwell?
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a really good example, which there was 6 months in between. Units that could land on a building and be 9 inches away and 0 inches away, all at the same fucking time.
In fact, that was clearly intentional and specifically in their FAQ. And if it wasn't intentional, someone did something very badly wrong.
So but they did, and then they FAQ'd it. So then they
took it back out again.
Yeah, so
they did it the other way. They had it nice in the middle, and then they swung it really far one way, and then in their panic swung it really far back. Yeah. It's like your car going out of control on an icy road.
Yeah, I think the conversation that Forge World is silly versus Citadel when Citadel is silly all on its own.
I'm just presenting the argument.
Yeah, I think you can just draw a straight parallel. I can just go.
I don't think that's true.
I'm not sure if. I can't think of anything in Forge World that's even particularly good anymore.
It's not about it being good though; it's about it not being usable.
Yeah, I don't think our Reapers are usable. I think Talos are usable. I don't think anything that moves 70 inches charges falls out of combat as a 3-up and vulnerable.
There's a difference between something being really good and something not being able to actually work.
I don't think there is. I think beyond a certain point, it's a joke. It's usability. I think genuinely the conversation where someone's like, "What do you do?" It's like, "I just hit you." You're like, "Okay, what else?" Like same with the Shieldbreaker stratagem from the Knights book. Yeah, someone's like, "You can't hide, and I can just hit you, and you don't get a save."
It's a joke because it works far too well, whereas Recon is a joke because it doesn't work at all.
There's the mission. Yeah.
In my Blood and Glory list, my Warlord has been taken for multiple reasons. So I've taken him as a Terminator sorcerer because he gets a familiar, so he's got +1 to cast, and then his warlord trait's +1 to cast. So that makes warp time super reliable to cast. Also, he's a Terminator for that stratagem because I can stick him in cover, and then he's got a 1-up save. So I've got a 5-up against the shield breaker stratagem.
That's quite good.
Well, because it ignores your invulnerable save, but as long as I keep him in cover,
he's got a
good chance of surviving.
And then it's D6 wounds.
Yeah, and I think he's got 5 wounds as well.
Yeah, so you need a 5+.
Whereas my Shadow Seer just dies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. My company commander just kaput.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. My Majos.
On a 4+.
Well, take a 1,000 Sun Sorcerer then.
Although,
in my Orc list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although,
if
you can get a Magus within 12-inch range of a Castellan and fire off a missile.
Yeah, that is quite
There you
fun.
go. Into another into his own character.
Right, let's talk about some strats then, and then we can wrap it up.
Strats.
I have top picks.
Let's do top picks. Can we do them in 7 minutes? Let's go.
But
3 hours.
Oof. Solid. Okay, stratagems. So these are tier 1 stratagems, which means they are usable by all. They're not specialized at all. They are the very baseline of the stratagems. So I have a favorite one called Noble Sacrifice, which is 2 CP. So an Armiger or a Questoris Knight explodes on a 4+. If it is a Dominus, roll 2d6, and if either roll is a 4+, it blows up. If both are a 4+, it blows up 3d6 inches.
Wow.
That's a banger.
It's great if you can sort of bait someone to charge something. So you use your enemy's bloodlust against them. So you like stick a big scary knight in front of them, like, haha, I'm going to kill it with all my things.
Which FYI is 98% of the Warhammer player base.
Yeah.
Or if you're in the middle of like 7 characters, in which case it's like firing 7 shield breaker missiles.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
very
great.
nice. Yeah, it works quite well against Drakari.
I think it's the best when you get it off first time.
Yeah.
So it's 2 command points. If you get the 4+, great. But if you need to use a reroll on that, it's not as effective because then you can say if you don't need to use the reroll on the blow up, then you can save that for the radius of your explosion.
Yeah.
Or a
specific
D6,
character
or,
kill,
or a D6 roll on the characters. Yeah.
Yep. It's one of my favourites.
So the next top pick we've got is rotate ion shields. So 1 CP or 3 CP, depending on if you're Questoris or Dominus class. So Dominus, it's 3. You just get +1 to your invulnerable save for the phase.
To a maximum of 3+.
To a max of 3.
Yep.
So that's just always good for obvious reasons, because it keeps you alive longer.
Yep. So I really also like Heirlooms of the Household and Exalted Court. So they are 1 or 3 CP each. And that either allows you to gain 1 extra relic or for 1 CP, or 2 extra relics for 3 CP, or 1 extra warlord trait for 1 CP, or 2 extra warlord traits for 3 CP.
This is the fascinating thing about the CP conversation, right? Like, all the time. I spend 1 command point, and I make 500 points better. Yeah. Or 1 command point, and I can dakka my orcs. Like, it's not which is great if you're a knight player, like, as I now am. Like, spend that command point, like, example, with my Knight Preferer on, that command point over 850 points of wounds.
Yeah. Swole
better. Yeah.
And you can spend the command point to get that warlord trait that gives you a command point.
I've got all the points.
Of course.
Yeah, okay. Next up.
So we've got Pack Hunters. So
This
1
is
command point, you pick an Armiger Warglaive that has just charged, and you reroll all failed charge rolls for friendly Armigers within 12 of that model.
Not bad if you're running a pack.
Mob it with like 7 Armigers.
Yeah.
Bang.
So it would be really fun watching Armiger Warglaive army versus like a Killer Can army. Just everyone just like.
I honestly feel like that'd go the same way as the Knights versus the Stompers.
Yeah, no, I agree. The Warglaives win all day.
Yeah,
but still, it would be cool
It'd be
looking.
very funny. It's Grots versus.
That would be amazing.
Everyone, just can openers every day.
Yeah.
What a spectacle.
What a spectacle.
Finally, we have Full Tilt, which is 2 CP. And then we've got the Questoris Imperialis and Questoris Mechanicus ones as well. So 2 CP, use a stratagem in your charge phase and choose an Imperial Knight vehicle from your army that advances its turn, and this unit can charge anyway. So you use it in your charge phase, not in your movement phase. So the Eldar one is you use it after you advance, whereas this one you can advance all your knights and then just pick one in the charge phase because you pick the one that moves fastest and is closest and then charge that one.
It's most swole.
Most zoomy.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
I love it. Full Tilt I use a lot.
I'd use it on the Atropos. Or the Lancer.
The Lancer?
The Lancer.
I'd use it on the Atropos. Yeah, I personally...
I'd use it on the Porphyrion.
Huh?
Yeah,
He's not even got arms.
Yeah.
He's like...
Come here, you.
He looks so much like a DACA droid from
Just
Star
a
Wars.
Porphyrion attack by just walking up to people and then falling over on them and then standing up again.
Oh,
It's like Razor.
bless him.
The 850 Porphyrion.
Yeah, the 850 point. Do you know what? At least he's not the supremacy suit.
Well,
If we're going into Titanic models, you've got the Porphyrion, which, as we've discussed, is actually quite good.
in the context of night fights.
In the context of night fights, yes, and potentially even in the context of a 40k game, people may go, do you know what, I wasn't really prepped for this.
I played against it with warp spiders once. It was very funny.
Did you kill it with warp spiders?
No, I killed it with the Uncal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so you might not know what to... It's fine, you just say Craft World, and we don't need to go any further into that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's obviously the 3 books. Eldar. No, in fact, 2. Poor Harleys.
Yeah.
There's the 2
They're not
books.
real anymore.
You guys go play your game over there, your Eternal War. Yeah,
Yeah,
fighting off
yeah.
Slanesh.
Aladdin.
Just leave the rest of 40k to just play some Warhammer.
Yeah,
That'd be
Eternal
quite
War
fun.
is in the Games Workshop rules pack for events. Where they belong.
I would also never listen to that either, or read that.
That's fine.
That would just...
You look like a babushka, by the way.
This, by the way, it's my tank. Do you guys not know why I'm wearing this?
No.
This is my tank driving hat. This is for if I was an Imperial Knight, I'd be like, this is my hat, in I go.
You're gonna get into your killer cannon and just walk down the
Yeah,
road.
let's go, boys. Let's go. Because next week, obviously, we're going to be doing the fucking Orc Codex.
That orc.
Oh, we
codex.
are.
Da Orcs!
Oh, yeah.
If you want to hear some excitement from me.
Are we doing a whole show in orc speak?
Yeah. Oh, get 'em, boys!
I feel like that'll get really annoying after half an hour.
What? No. You fucking
it'll
gits.
never get
Oh,
boring.
you fuck off.
You
No,
just-
do they swear?
You just
No.
sound like Nathan from Angry Boys. Sorry, not Nathan. Daniel. There you go.
Yeah. And like Nathan Prescott.
Yeah.
You guys have been wonderful for doing all of that. So, what's your standout? What would you tell people to do? Do you think all night armies are viable in competitive 40k?
No.
No from Tom. Nick?
Don't take free preceptors.
I'd say it was a maybe for me.
So maybe from me.
But yeah, I'm definitely think they are.
You think they are?
Yeah.
Maybe, but definitely.
Maybe, but definitely.
Okay. By all night armies, what do you mean by that?
Well,
Just
I
pure
think yes because
Oh, right. I
because-
thought you meant
because
every single type of night army you could possibly build is viable.
No, just like, the best army that you can make from the Night Codex.
I think basically yes because if you still take a guard battalion, you're still a night army because most of your points are the Imperial
So you take
Knights.
one Castellan and then you're a night army.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or
cool.
one
Yeah.
Porphyrion.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, so they're definitely competitive, aren't they? The 40k list has shown that, isn't it?
Yeah, it has.
And all the stats, right?
And all the
40K
stats say.
to come.
All the stats say.
All the stats
Yeah.
from
All the
Bronze
stats
two.
say if you take 3 nights, you just win 4 games. Just a breeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Not definitely, but like the stats support that just taking Imperial Knights gives you an incredibly easy time.
Yeah, because they're good, but it also frees up a lot of brain power. Because you're just not you're not moving as much models.
No.
Don't think about it, just walk at him.
Well,
Yeah.
you still have to obviously think about it, but you've not got the same thought power needed for micromanaging lots of little units and things like that.
Mm.
It's
So
brilliant.
you're freeing up your brain for more stratagems
Yeah.
and.
For
I
more-
take 3 knights and just assassins.
There you go. Which 3 knights do you take?
I know.
Crusaders.
Crusaders, 3 Crusaders,
Who gives a
and
shit?
some assassins.
Just 3 of them.
3
Crusaders.
Porphyrions, yes.
Huh?
3 Porphyrions.
No,
yes.
1 Porphyrion and some
2 Warglaves.
and then 2 Warglaves and then assassins.
Yes.
I'm like, go on then.
You got Tom.
You'd be like, psychopath, I'm like,
No.
assassin.
Collectors.
Yeah, assassin. Supreme Command Detachment, 5 assassins.
No, that'd be, you take the Vanguard detachment.
Oh,
Because
that.
they're elites, so you take 6.
Dan says 75% of my reason to ever build a night army is the ease to bring with me on a plane.
It isn't. So,
So good travellers.
I actually packed it for Croatia, and I had this big tub full of foam, and the tub broke. But,
Did the Knights break?
no, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
But
you go.
you had to cut out the foam specifically to fit the knights in. But it was the cheapest army case they've ever produced. It was just old foam from, I don't know, some placed.
But they are very transportable. Especially the plastic ones.
If you magnetize them.
If you magnetize them, especially the plastic ones.
I did not magnetize them.
So incredibly easy to play, incredibly easy to carry places, incredibly easy games, very fun. Looking forward to League of Nights. Really easy. What's nice is like the shield break stratagem as well. You don't really got to like do a lot of work. It's like this. What thinking you doing? It's not for me.
I just charge you.
It's not the army I play. It's not how this works. Which is my preferred way of playing.
I don't play this game
What,
to
not
think.
actually thinking about what you're doing.
Well, it's 40k, right? Like, why would you go against the uphill struggle? There's all the Eldar players just like, what are you up to? They're like, I'm just shooting. Just reroll here. I'm just rerolling till we. What's your charge? Well, I've moved 9,000 inches, so I've got a 1-inch charge. But don't worry, if I fuck it up, they've given me the reroll, so I'm fine. Any other issues? No issues at all.
You save all your thinking for Age of Sigmar, yeah?
Yes.
Pretty much.
What, running onto objectives? Yeah, it's a tad. But
I mean, you can do it better than anyone else, I heard. So
that's not true. That's not true. I just won one tournament.
you've only won one tournament.
No, not this year. 2 this year.
There you go.
No biggie.
No biggie. No biggie. But I'm looking forward to using my knights, especially the Preferon, especially with little armigers.
Woo!
You guys looking forward to League of Knights?
Yep.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Okay,
I'm
nice.
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
You got any final words to say to the people at home? The kids? Reach out to the kids.
The kids.
I hope Worlds is on Saturday, Lynn. There you go.
It is.
So,
9 o'clock.
yeah, he's putting it on. I'm hoping he's putting it on the big screen for us at London Glory.
What's on?
Worlds.
Finals of Worlds. Fnatic are playing in Victor's Gaming.
It's almost like...
Amazing. Europe,
People like
Europe
it.
made it,
It's
boys.
almost like competitive gaming's a thing and people like it.
Yeah, wow.
I'm shocked Europe made it.
I'd love to see more live competitive gaming on Switch.
Yeah.
You will, from the Honest
Really?
Wargamer.
Really?
Yeah, loads. How many tickets are left now? We don't know. Some. John knows.
John's in
Witch
charge.
King.
Probably
But I'll put them in the show notes below. Everyone on Twitch, you guys have been wonderful. Thanks for the bits, donations, and the subscriptions. Hook and Pin, LLV. A bunch of other people have done those things. Patreon, you guys are badass with big balls. Yeah, unlike the Night Preferon.
They don't even need a notification.
Doesn't even have a penis. Huh?
They don't even need a notification on the Twitch channel.
No, they don't need nothing.
No, they just do it.
They just do it.
Big balls.
And then Nick, you've been wonderful. Tom,
Thank you.
You've been wonderful.
Thank you.
Twitch chat been wonderful. You podcasters who are listening, you guys have obviously been wonderful.
You guys have
Join us
listened
next week
really
for
well.
Da Boys, Da Orcs,
That Orc review.
Da Orc Review. Dave
Loads
Frazier,
of
thanks very much.
stratagems.
I honestly, I'm going to let you guys know now, and then when you listen next week, find out. I'm nervous. Because if
It might be shit.
Because if it's just take loads of fucking boys and run forward, I'll be like, you could have made this so good.
I think it will be.
If it is, Tom, yeah, you're the one who's going to have to be the positive guy. Because I'm going to bring the fire and the green fury.
I'm looking forward to just listening to you rant for 4 hours.
No, I'm not. I'd like, it could be such an incredible codex. Are you not excited?
It could still be, Rob. Could still
It could
There's
be.
still hope.
I'm so jazzed
Still
for what
hope.
could be going.
They could just send it to the printers again and get it fixed.
Yeah,
Yeah, you never know. If they release it, the next day there might be several FAQs they have to
Oh
release.
yeah, I have forgot
But
about
actually,
that.
shit, sorry.
Woohoo!
We fucked it
Everyone
up.
get excited about the
At least you get an
train.
FAQ in time, like Space Wolves didn't.
Oh, that'd be great. Orcs Codex comes out. Don't worry, boys. We know it's fucking boring. Probably the most enigmatic book. What's the most enigmatic book? I suppose it depends on your preference. I feel it's Orcs. But like,
Yeah.
what would you say has got like the most character, like as a race?
Space Wolves, but the book does not.
I don't know, I probably would say it's the Orcs, really.
I feel like Orcs are just a big fan fiction.
Yeah, like what about Megalons with some like crazy shit, like flash kits with like fucking
A flash kit's still a thing.
yeah, they're a
Did
brand
they
new
not take
kit.
up? Are they?
Flash kits.
I love flash kits in the old Dawn of War games, dude.
Yeah, man, you should see the new kits. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look really cool.
I'm not a fan of the flash kits. They're just like massive, weird
Boom,
guns.
boom, boom,
Massive
boom,
guns.
boom,
Weird
boom, boom, boom,
hats.
boom, boom.
Yeah.
It's a bit too much for me.
Wait a minute, you're sitting
too
between
busy.
him wearing that and me with my hair, and you're complaining about weird head styles.
I am, yeah.
Okay.
No, I think
He's
it's
brave
like
man.
that. Oh, what about Killer Cans, Stompers? Obviously, we know Forge World will get no love, but they've got the Grot tanks. They've
And the
got
Chinook.
The Chinook, yeah, the Big Mechs, the Mecha Can.
Although
Like,
yeah.
why isn't there? Like, so there's the Imperial Knight Codex, yeah,
Mhm.
right, for like 4 models with like 3 guns. That's literally all it is, right? It's not even that. It's 2 models with just different gun loadouts.
I don't know. I think Eldar are pretty characterful.
That'd be like releasing the fucking Devastator Squad fucking codex. You'd be like, well, there's the Melter Gun Squad, there's the Plasma Gun Squad.
You know what? I'm gonna do this because I'm gonna get roasted, but it's working anyway.
What?
Here we go.
I think Eldar are the most characterful because they're the only army that truly fits their narrative in their gameplay.
Yeah, they're a bag of shit. And bullshit.
Everyone's narrative is biased towards them that they are broken, and Eldar are the only thing that truly fits. Also, they have some novels.
Also, there are books.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Fine.
Got
I
him.
like one more orcs. I just want like. What about like what I'm saying is Killicans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Killicans, Mechatreads, that whole range. They could have a codex all of their own with clan technology. Yeah.
Do they though?
No, they don't. Of course they don't.
No.
I'm just saying. Like the range of models.
You could even do it like the Drakari book, where you've got the homunculus covens, the Cavalites.
Yeah.
You could have the boys, the speed freaks, the mechs, the grots.
There's a problem when you write a codex in an afternoon.
Flashy
you
boys.
just don't really expand on the ideas, do you?
No.
Yeah. How about that? Oh, it's an orc. It says.
Green.
It has. Here we go.
Right. Anyway, so look forward to that next week. It'll either be
amazing or shit.
It's the codex I've been looking forward to the most since Custodes.
Okay, so basically the show's going to be amazing regardless of whether or not the book is.
Because it will be either full of joy or rage.
Yes.
And Nick, Nick, you're also building orcs. I've been recently.
I'm building towards an orc army. Yes.
And then Tom, you're an old school orc player.
I've got loads of orcs in my cabinets. Yeah.
So there's 3 orc boys ready to play. We just want to know whether or not.
I'm ready to play, just not
Can we
orcs.
do some crumping?
Yeah, can we do crumping? Are we boys or knobs? That's a question.
I mean, I'm a knob, but it's a different question. I mean, I've committed to playing my Eldar at least until February, so I can't really.
Get your knobs out, Tom.
I mean, if you insist, but
For the
we're gonna have to
boys.
take the camera
Get
off.
your knobs out for the boys.
Turn
Right.
the cameras off first, Ben.
We're off skis, and we'll see you guys soon. You guys are in the chat, and then we'll see you soon. Thank you for everything. You guys have been wonderful. You guys have been wonderful.
You've been wonderful.
I don't know how today, but I've
You
done
have,
some
you
great
did.
research.
We had some good discussions.
Yeah, there was
We've
some-
learnt some things.
yeah, I did not know some things.
About old knights and
Yeah,
things.
also a Domina, the lady class.
Oh my.
No, it's oh my.
It is ladies' night after all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.